like you changed on me. Ain't the same like back then. They don't know what happened. The truth is that I'm tapped in. I'm a warrior. They know I'm a prophet. I'm a warrior. They know we don't profit. I'm a warrior. They know I'm a prophet. I'm a warrior. Who want war with us? Hey, hold up, wait a minute. Who that say they in it? Who that say I'm tripping? Say I'm lost. I say I'm living. They confused, now they don't get it. But I made my decision with the quickness, that's precision. Now I'm back to the business. Yeah, we outside. They quick to run their mouth. I swear they mouth wide. The Lord, he told me, yeah, I'm from this outside. When you start keeping these laws, they start to side. No, they can't hide. It might be hard to swallow. Price ain't hard to follow. It's just your heart that's hollow. Can't be stuck out in your way, living life like it's no tomorrow. Not just your action. This world a distraction. Can't seek satisfaction. Can't get caught out here. I lived that life there in the past. I can't go back again. Right now, I like just where I'm at. This one no accident. They like you changed on me. Ain't the same like back then. They don't know what happened. The truth is that I'm tapped in. I'm a warrior. They know I'm a prophet. I'm a warrior. They know we don't profit. I'm a warrior. They know I'm a prophet. I'm a warrior. Who want war with us?
Blood, two-edged sword, weapons ain't carnal, don't need no block. Got the angels with me, if you with demons, then you are out. At the end of the day, you ain't no doomsday at the clock. Yeah, I changed on the man that I was, I had to swap. I'm a warrior, I might not.
You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. You've been making violence, killing brothers with your riders, selling drugs up on the corners, but the profits here, so boy, you better. Cause the profits here now. You better.
Hey, bring that out.
Cause the profits here now. See hanging on the corner, see hanging on the streets. Somebody run up on you, someday you never see. I got that Bible on me, don't need no gun. You got them questions, I get it like everyone. Looking like I come for war, even when I come in peace. 3 times I prayed to the Lord, 3 times I turn to these. Pop out to the club, sipping on that cup. Everything you do, I done did and I gave it up.
Check. Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. My name is Officer Jalil. To my right,
Soldier Jedediah.
wow. Y'all got some type of like vendetta? What's going on? Before we get started, wanted to say short shout out to our leadership, IUIC. Shout out to the bishops, deacons, the captains, officers, the soldiers. All you brothers and sisters laboring in this truth, all praise to the Most High. I will be covering this week again for Captain Joel. Shout out to Captain Joel. Today's topic is creating a godly wife. Creating, yes, creating a godly wife. Now, some feminists may hear that and they may squirm in their seats. They may be like, oh, you talking about creating a godly wife? No, that's so misogynistic. Shut the hell up. So, creating a godly wife. So, as we said before, these topics are meant for the edifying, the building of all of us. All of us could glean something from it and add to our lives so we can be better brothers and sisters in this truth. We can overcome our shortcomings, our faults, our flaws, learn to examine ourselves and build in this truth. And so for this particular topic, I've made mistakes in my life, and from those mistakes that I've made, I got wisdom from it. I got experience from it. You know, so this topic, creating a godly wife, like I understand this from making mistake, from making my mistake, because I had a failed relationship before. And the reason why the relationship failed, the reason why it was not a success is my fault. And every man that has, if you're in a relationship and the woman you're married to is defective, she ain't right, it's your fault. You can't turn around and blame the woman for anything. It's your fault. You know, so I had a failed marriage, and it was completely my fault. It's my fault because I chose the wrong spouse. I didn't vet that spouse properly. I didn't build that spouse the right way. The red flags and all the signs that I was supposed to see, I ignored them with that spouse. And as a result, that spouse, she turned on me. She betrayed me. She stabbed me in the back. She secretly recorded me, and she gave secret recordings of me to my enemies for them to attack me. She weaponized my children against me. She tried to weaponize my mother against me. And all of that is my fault. When dealing with women, brothers, that's a very serious thing. It's not a light thing. You shouldn't just go out there and make decisions on your own and choose blindly. You should not choose according to your eyes. You should not choose according to your impulses. You will end up, that's how Jamaicans say, end up. You will end up in a world of trouble. Your life will be ruined. Okay? So, in going through my situation, making my mistakes, learning from it, I gain experience and I gain wisdom. Because how you can measure somebody's growth is when they can make a mistake and the advice, the counsel that they can give to you from the experiences that they've gained. That person being able to acknowledge where they went wrong at. You got to be able to see, okay, where did I mess up? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? That shows growth. That shows spiritual growth, being able to examine yourself. And you got some people that learn easy way, and you got some people that learn the hard way. I'm one of those people that learn the hard way. You know, the Lord taught me a hard lesson in life, you know, and with that hard lesson, I wanted to channel that same energy into this class right here and help others so y'all don't fall into that situation. Give me Proverbs 7:1, you know, and the other day I made mention of this like two times in a row before, you know. And I was talking to Deke the other day. It was like, yo, you made mention of it, but like you didn't really go in depth, you know. And to be honest, like me going in, like it felt weird, you know, because I'm not used to that. It felt weird. But the thing about it is, us being teachers and leaders in this truth, we got to be real and honest. We got to be able to bring out the things that we go through, because it's other souls out there that's going through similar things that we need to touch with these examples that we have, this experience that we've gained, the knowledge that we've gained from going through certain things. Other people need to hear these words. So it's not a shameful thing for me to say my mistakes, for me to speak about my mistakes, for me to speak about the wrong decisions that I've made and how I've learned from it. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know? And I know like some people may look like, okay, well, because I have to make hard decisions in that situation. I had to leave everything behind. And some people may look at it like, yo, this guy's like a monster. Like, who does that? That's not like a normal thing to do. It isn't. And I don't care who looks at me as a monster. My mindset is to serve the Lord, and whatever or whoever is in my way got to get moved out the way. Whatever thing is a hindrance or is a opponent, that's an adversary to me, I'm gonna eliminate that. Nobody or nothing comes in my walk with serving the Lord. And that's how all of us got to think. And with that comes that you got to make harsh decisions. You come across situations in life where you got to make harsh decisions. And these harsh decisions, they teach you things. They teach your wisdom grows, you evolve, you become experienced. And then that experience, you gain it not just for yourself, but for the next brother or that sister that comes in that need help in that regard. You know, so it's not a shameful thing to say my flaws and my shortcomings. It's not a shameful thing. I want y'all to learn and not make the same mistakes. Avoid the pitfalls that a lot of brothers fall into, because it's, like I said, it's a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. So give me Proverbs chapter 7, verse 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7 and verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers. Write them upon the table of thine heart.
Right. Come on.
Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman.
Come on.
That they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
So that's saying a lot right there. Read from verse 1 again.
Verse 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee.
So we got to keep the commandments. We got to keep the commandments. It says lay up the commandments with thee, meaning in your mind. You have to remember the commandments. You got to remember thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not kill. These are things that we have to ingrain within our minds. Come on.
Keep my commandments and live.
When we keep the commandments, that live, that's the breath of life. That live right there, the commandments bring you to life. And if you keep the commandments, you will get eternal life. Come on.
And my law as the apple of thine eye.
The laws are supposed to be the most important thing in our lives. That force that guides our decision making is supposed to be the laws, not your rod, not your own mind. It's supposed to be the laws. When you follow after the laws, you will be successful in life. When you don't follow the laws, you make a lot of mistakes, and some mistakes you don't come back from. You suffer a lot of damage in life from not keeping the laws. Come on.
Bind them upon thy fingers.
Come on.
Write them upon the table of thine heart.
Your heart is your mind. The laws are supposed to be written in your mind. Come on.
Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister.
Wisdom is that spirit of Christ. Wisdom is the Holy Spirit. It says, say what to wisdom?
Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister.
Come on.
And call understanding thy kinswoman.
Call understanding thy kinswoman. Why? Come on.
That they may keep thee from the strange woman.
Why does it say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman? Why is it using it in a feminine reference? But not just a feminine reference, but a close family member, a sister or a kinswoman. Because a sister or a near kinswoman, they're going to look out for your best interest. When it comes to dealing with females, women are able to see things in other women. They're able to tell who's trifling and who's not. Women have that type of intuition when it comes to dealing with dealing amongst themselves. So it's giving an analogy. It's saying what?
Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman.
So it's the same way that spirit of wisdom is able to discern and show you what? Read.
That they may keep thee from the strange woman.
That spirit of wisdom is going to show you what kind of woman to avoid, what kind of woman not to get involved with. And the reason why that's so important is because we as men, we in the flesh, we have our appetites, we have what we like. And what you may like, what may appeal to your eyes, that's not what's good for you. That thing that is appealing to your eyes, that's the same thing that's going to destroy you. And that thing that's appealing to your eyes, it obscures your judgment because you're so caught up with the physical appearance and how things look. And that will destroy you. But wisdom, that spirit of wisdom is able to guide you and help you maneuver through all of that. You won't get caught up with the beauty of a woman and how she looks on the outside. You will have that spirit of discernment to know, okay, all right, how does this woman fear the Lord? Is she trying to keep the commandments? How she deal in the body? How does she deal with brothers and sisters? Where's her mind at? You're not focused on the physical appearance. Come on.
That they may keep thee from the strange
I
woman.
want to say the strange woman. What is that talking about? The strange woman is another nation. We know that. But it's saying something else too. Read it again.
That they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
That's why you need that spirit of wisdom, because it's going to help you navigate around that woman that's coming to you with flattering words. Here you go, you skinny, like me. And this woman, which is a demon, she's trying to destroy you. It doesn't visibly look that way, but that's what she's trying to do. She's coming to you with flattering words like, you got, oh, I like your muscles. You got big muscles, and you're so handsome, and you're God's gift to all women. Like things of that nature. That's what she's saying to you to blow smoke up your, to blow smoke.
Stop it.
And women that have this nature, this type of behavior, any woman that do that, that's evil. That's right. That's a red flag right there. So wisdom is already showing us the kind of woman to avoid is the one that's going to come up to you and give you all flattery and say, oh, just to rock you to sleep, to get you to submit to her what you call that, her wiles and her tricks, her devices, her charm. That's witchcraft. That's a red flag right there. And wisdom helps you to maneuver around these things. But a strange woman, we know not to deal with heathens. Give me Proverbs chapter 2, verse 10. Proverbs chapter 2, verse 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 10. When wisdom entereth into thine heart.
We go talking about wisdom again. Wisdom is that Holy Spirit. Wisdom is the Spirit of Christ. Sometimes the Bible refers to wisdom in a feminine context. Come on.
When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul.
That knowledge is talking about the commandments. The knowledge of the commandments is what?
Pleasant unto thy soul.
You come into this truth, you love this truth, you happy, you are zealous, you ready to go out and do the work, you want to go on fire missions, you want to go out to camp. Come on.
Knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Discretion shall preserve thee.
One thing we got to learn in this truth is discretion. It says discretion shall preserve thee. Pull up the definition of discretion on Google. Read that again.
Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee.
And that understanding that you gain from the spirit of wisdom being in you, it shall do what?
Shall keep thee.
It shall keep you from what? That keep you meaning it's going to protect you. It's going to protect you because there's a lot of pitfalls in life. There's a lot of traps in this world that if you don't have the spirit of wisdom dwelling in you, you are finished. You are most certainly finished. So it's saying that spirit of wisdom is going to keep you, meaning protect you. Read the definition of discretion real quick.
Definition of discretion: the quality of behaving or speaking in such a way as to avoid causing offense or revealing private information.
Read the similes.
Similar: circumspection, care, carefulness, caution.
Caution. So that discretion is caution. Caution. You're going to walk in this world with caution. You're not going to make a rash decision. You're not going to make impulsive decisions. You're not going to make long-term decisions based off short-term lust. You're not going to do that. You're going to move with caution. You're going to be calculated. You're going to think about what you do before you do it. You're going to think about what you say before you say it. That's when the spirit of wisdom is within you. Read verse 10 again.
Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 10.
Come on.
When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Discretion
Caution.
shall preserve thee.
You got to be cautious. You got to be circumspect. Come on.
Understanding shall keep
The understanding of the commandments is going to protect you from what? Read.
to deliver thee from the way of the evil man.
Okay, jump to verse 16. That understanding and that wisdom is going to protect you from this.
Verse 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman.
The strange woman. Here goes mentioning the strange woman again. To deliver you or protect you from the strange woman. Read.
Even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
And here she go again with the flattering words. Oh, you so cute. That's, you know what this strange, it translates to? Because people don't really socialize, like back in the day, like word of mouth. People talk on social media now, over Facebook, Instagram, and whatever those other platforms. And they're going to slide into your DMs, and they're going to say all the things that you want to hear. They're going to say all the things that you want to hear to ultimately destroy you, because that's what it's really about. The strange woman, Satan is operating in the strange woman. And if you don't have the spirit of wisdom in you to protect you, then you're going to get caught up in the traps, the snares of Satan. That's what's going on. That's really what's going on. Read it again.
Verse 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman.
Come on.
Even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
That's a red flag. If you ever come across anybody that has this trait, run for the hills. If any sister comes up to you and starts to compliment you and tell you things to blow your head up, run for the hills. That's Satan trying to destroy you. That is Satan trying to pull you out of this truth. That's a red flag. No woman is supposed to be walking up to you talking about, oh, I'm interested in you and this and that. That's not how this works. If any woman does that, that's red flag number one.
That's
no
right.
discretion. Lack of respect. Because she knows if a righteous woman is interested in you, she's gonna speak to the leaders. She's gonna make inquiry about you. She's not gonna just approach you. That's a lack of discretion. Likewise, if a woman out of nowhere messages you on Instagram, inbox, shalom, brother, Most High in Christ bless. I saw your video, this and that, and trying to start conversation. Red flag. Don't respond to her. That is trying to destroy you. Read it again.
To deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
Because that's how a lot of backdoor marriages start too, on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram DMs and Facebook DMs on social media. Because it's secretive. It's not in the open. It's not right. It doesn't have any integrity. It's not honest. It's secretive and it's sin. Read.
Which forsaketh the guide of her.
No. Read it again.
Verse 16. To deliver thee from the strange woman.
To protect you from the strange woman.
Even from the stranger which flattereth with her words.
So we want to know, what is the strange woman that Solomon is talking about? Read.
Which forsaketh the guide of her youth.
It says which what?
Forsaketh the guide of her youth.
So this strange woman, she forsake the guide of her youth. What is the guide of her youth? The guide of her youth is her parents. Her parents is instilling God's commandments in her, and she don't want to hear that. She don't want to abide by that. She don't want to follow the commandments. She want to do her own thing. She want to live her life. Come on.
Which forsaketh the guide of her youth.
Come on.
And forgetteth the covenant of her God.
And does what?
Forgetteth the covenant of her God.
So forgetteth the covenant of her God. So this right here is letting you know, a strange woman can also be classified as what? A woman that does not fear God. She does not want to keep the commandments. An ungodly woman is also classified as a strange woman. Stranger, because she is a stranger to the command. She's not following after righteousness. She's not following after godliness. She's strange. Strange. Okay, read 17 again.
Verse 17. Which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God.
She ain't trying to hear no commandments. She don't want to follow after righteousness, which translate to this, brothers. She will not submit. She will not show reverence. She will not honor you. She will always disrespect you. She will always violate you. Okay? These are the attributes of an ungodly woman. And if a woman doesn't fear God, she's not going to abide by the divine order that God has set for women in the Bible. So if you get yourself caught up with a strange woman, you will be destroyed. That will be hell on earth for you. She will ruin your life, and your life would be a living hell. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. From there, where we at? Okay, give me Sirach chapter 6, verse 7. So the title of the class is Creating a Godly Wife. In order to create a godly wife, first and foremost, you got to choose the right woman. You got to choose the right woman. And when the right woman don't mean that she's going to be perfect either. The right woman, she's going to be God-fearing. She's going to be keeping the commandments, but she's also going to have issues. She's going to have shortcomings, flaws that you got to build her up with. You got to identify those things, and you got to build her up. You got to show her the scriptures, you got to correct her, you got to groom her. But the mindset has to be God-fearing first and foremost. That's the right choice. That's the right choice. The right woman is not the one that's a 10. A lot of us look for 10. She got to be this, physical appearance, bomb, bomb, bomb. She got to have big breasts, big behind, pretty face, and all of that. But that's not what your focal point is supposed to be. Because the woman that's right for you, she may not have those attributes. She may not be a 10. She might be a 7. But the mind, you can work with the mind. She fears God in her mind. She fears God, and she's trying to do right. She's willing to work and build in this truth. She is able to acknowledge that she has flaws within herself that she can work on and grow. She want to become better. She want to be more righteous. She wants to please God. That is worth way more than a pretty face.
That's right.
Any time of the day. Because you pick a pretty face, a 10 or whatever, like that stuff, it doesn't last. Like, it wears off. If you pick a pretty looking woman and she got bad character, like, that distorts the whole way she looks. That doesn't matter anymore. That's why a lot of these hoes in the world, they look good on the outside, but they got messed up character. They got a messed up character. They don't know how to deal right. They can't speak respectfully. They have no reverence and honor in them. So men take them and have sex with them, and then they ditch them. Why? Because that's not wife material. That's not the type of woman to marry. Because they don't have the right mind. And 10 times out of 10, the woman that a man is going to marry, a man that has his head on straight, a woman that he's going to marry is a woman that is respectful, that's going to honor him, that's God-fearing. That's the type of woman, that's marriage, that's wife material. Every woman is not wife material. Just because she's a woman, it doesn't mean that she's wife material. Some women were literally created to be traps for brothers on this earth. Some women are demons incarnate. They're demons in the flesh. Read it again. Oh, yeah, Sirach chapter 6, verse 7. Right, so I was saying, in order to create a godly wife, you got to start with the right platform first and foremost. And what I mean by a right platform, that woman got to have a mind to serve God. She got to be God-fearing. Because if a woman is not God-fearing, you can't use the Bible to do nothing. You can't use the Bible to build up. She don't believe that. What are you doing? Where you going with that? Why are you telling me that scripture? That don't mean nothing to me. I don't want to hear that. But when you find a woman with the right mind, not find, because you can't find them. The Lord brings her to you, because you don't find her on your own. When the Lord see it fit, he bring that woman into your life. But read Sirach chapter 6, verse 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Come on.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Read it again.
If thou wouldest get a
put
friend.
that definition on the screen for me. Read.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
You want to get a wife, you do what?
Prove him first.
That's a very pivotal stage right there. Very, very important. Blow it up. It's very imperative that you make sure you perform this process, this stage properly. If you don't do this stage properly, not going to work. It's not going to work. Read the definition for proof for me.
Definition of prove. Demonstrate the truth or existence of something by evidence or argument.
So prove is to demonstrate something by evidence, meaning action. Give me this.
Similar. Demonstrate. Show. Show beyond doubt.
Show beyond doubt. Because women lie. They're going to tell you this and that and this and that and give you a whole bunch of stories. And they're going to always try to play the innocent card. Let me tell you something. 99.999% of women are not innocent. They're not. They are not. They will lie to try to hide certain things about themselves because they think in their minds if you see it, then you will decide not to deal with it anymore. So they will lie to protect the way you view them. They always want to be viewed in a good light, with a good perception. That's how women think. But keep going.
Show beyond doubt.
Come on.
Show to be true. Manifest. Produce. Submit proof. Produce, submit evidence. Establish evidence.
Okay, give me the next photo. There's another one I gave you. There's another one I gave you. It's, yeah, that right there. At the bottom. When it says from Middle English, put it on the screen. Come on.
Middle English. From Old French, proverb. From Latin, probare. Test.
Wait, it said what?
Test.
To do what?
To test.
So prove. Read it again.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
If thou wouldest get a friend, test. 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 Read it again.
If thou wouldest get a friend.
If you want to get a wife, read.
Prove
Test.
him.
Test.
Him.
Come on.
Prove him first.
You got to test her first. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
The reason why you would be hasty to credit a woman is because of the way she looks. That's why. Because of the way she look good, and you want her so bad, you'll justify her. You'll ignore her shortcomings. You'll ignore the signs, all the bad signs and the red flags, and say, oh, no, this is a good sister. You only known her for damn 6 months. You talking about, oh, she's a good sister. Man, if you do that, you have no self-value. You have no self-worth. That is by definition a simp. That's what that is.
He needs some.
In order to test a woman, to prove a woman, you have to have self-value. You have to have self-worth. The reason why, and what do I mean by that when I say that? When you have self-worth, you have standards. And you're going to demand that woman to live by certain standards in order for you to involve her in your life and to take her as your wife. She has to be living by certain standards. So if she's not up to that standard, she got to work to come up to that standard. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to give you the title of being my wife, and I haven't tested you. I haven't brought you through any situations to see really where your mind is at, to see how you operate under pressure, to see how you deal in bad situations. You're going to just give over that title. Read it again. There's another thing to that.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
There's situations where you have brothers talk to sisters. They start courting, and after about 6 months, he's telling her he loves her. That's no self-value. That's no self-worth. You can't tell. You don't know her. 6 months is not enough time to know somebody. A year is not enough time to know somebody. You need time. People lie. People hide stuff. Things come out later on down the line. That's how it goes. People hide, and they're good at it. And some people lie. Some people lie to be deceitful and to manipulate. And some people lie out of fear because they don't know how you're going to react to certain information if you know it. So they lie because they're afraid. Nonetheless, people lie and they hide things. And you need to give things the proper course of time for everything to play out. Because the Lord is the one that's revealing things. But you need time for things to run its course and for you to see where things really are at. You need time. 6 months you talking about, oh, I love her.
Bruh.
Nah, man, you can't think like that. We cannot think like that. That's off. That's not a godly mindset. That's low self-esteem. That's low self-value. We can't think like that. You have to have standards. And the woman you decide to deal with and marry, she has to live by your standards. If she cannot uphold those standards, if she can't meet those standards, then it's not the right one. A godly woman will meet those standards. So read it again.
Verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
You got to test that person. And that test right there, that's talking about you got to make situations happen. You got to get that person on their nerves. You want to see how they deal when they get mad. When somebody's mad, that's when you see the real them. That's when you see the real them. You get them mad. And normally how this happens is this. Everybody got flaws inside of them. Everybody got bad ways. As time progresses and situations happen where she displays a bad character trait. Now, you as the man, you see it. Your job is to correct it. When you correct it, what she's going to do is she's going to get defensive. She's going to take it as you're attacking me. You're attacking my character. And in getting defensive, she's going to get mad. And when she get mad, you're going to see what type of person she is. You got different kinds of women. Some women get loud and belligerent when they get upset. Some of them start crying. They run into a corner and start crying. You got to know the type of spirit you're dealing with. You got to know exactly what you're working with. So that test, you got to that's correction. That's you creating situations to see how what type of decisions they're going to make. Testing. And it's not just about making situations happen, because let's say they mess up. They have faults and they mess up. They display a bad trait. They messed up. You also want to examine, does this person have the mind to acknowledge what they did was wrong? Do they have the mind to see what they did was wrong? And do they have the mind to want to work at it and fix it? You want to see all of these things. All of these things. And I'm telling you now, if you have went through a proven process and just this part of the lesson that we touched on so far, if none of that ain't happened, Telling you, bruh. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Every godly marriage comes together under this criteria right here. It must go through that. It must. Because when it does, it shows that God is manifest in that relationship. It shows that God is joining that relationship together. You don't know if God joined you together if y'all ain't been through nothing. Throughout the whole proving process, no molding, no building, no shaping, no nothing. Just everything smooth sailing. You bought it 2 years straight. You bought it a time and say, yeah, we did it correctly. And no, you didn't. No, you did not. You did not. You just bought it a time. You proving is actually this action, like testing, flaws being revealed, building going on, molding going on. You got to shape that woman's mind. You got to mold her, literally mold her into what you want. Her mind is supposed to be geared towards how you think. That's what's supposed to be going on. If that's not going on, then when things happen, because you can either create the environment to test that person to see where they're at, or you can wait for things to happen down the line, and then you'll see what they do. They'll either stick around and endure through it, or they're going to turn on you and decide, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. I'm not feeling this. I don't like this. This is not what I expected. I'm out. You don't know. The reason why you don't know is because you didn't apply that right there. That proof right there mean test. It don't mean buy time. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. You did biding time, that means that you have low self-esteem, low self-value. You don't value yourself. And you don't fear God neither. Because any man that fear God is going to make sure that he's joining himself to a righteous woman. You don't know if it's a righteous woman if you don't see how she deal in bad situations. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. So stop saying if there ain't no test going on, ain't no proving going on, and you just bought it at a time. Don't say you did it right because you didn't. That's not right. That's not right. Read it again.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
That means what it says. You got to test them. Prove them first before what? Before you get into a relationship with them. You got to prove them first. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Because in the beginning, everybody going to say the right things and do the right thing. Everybody has a, what Bishop call it? A representative. Everybody's going to have a representative, but that representative leaves the building when emotional tensions are high. They have no choice but to show their natural born ass when in situations like that. If everything is good, you don't know. You don't know. Things got to be bad. That's why you got to make situations happen. You got to create that environment. Come on.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
Come on.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Because of how that person look or the flattering words that she may be saying to you. You're not supposed to be hasty to credit nobody. Words don't mean nothing. They got to prove that by action. Because they're going to say, they're going to be the first, they're going to say things like, they love you. And they so glad to be, talking this and that, all that stuff. But it don't mean nothing unless they prove it. The proven process, let me tell y'all something. The proven process is the woman proving herself to you that she's worthy to be your wife. That's what that is. You don't just give out the title, wife, here you go. You know what I mean? You don't do that. You don't do that. They must earn that right there.
That's right.
That's a high position. That is a high calling. You wanted to be the wife of a man in this truth that's doing the work, serving the Lord. That's a high calling right there. Not everybody fits the role to be married to a man like that. You don't just give it out to anybody like that. They gotta earn that. They gotta earn that. They gotta work for it. If that woman has some potential, but there's other bad traits that she has that she needs to develop and grow out of. in order to get to that level, then you need to stimulate that growth. And they must, from the time they start talking to you to the time you marry them, they're supposed to transcend how they were from the beginning. They're supposed to be a better woman. They're supposed to be on another level. If you started talking to somebody and they didn't grow whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, I'm talking about in godliness, in serving the Lord, and you decided to marry them, you made a grave mistake. You made a grave mistake. And there are a lot of unknowns, and you're going to have to live with that. And situations are going to have to play out for you to know. There's going to be that doubt in the back of your mind. That's why in the definition we read earlier, it says, prove beyond the shadow of a doubt. Because you want your mind to safely trust in that woman, so you're going to test her to make sure. That's how your mind is going to safely trust, because, okay, I know what type of person you are. I know how you deal in bad situations. I know what you're going to do. My mind is at ease. I understand you. I know you. And that take time. That don't take a year. It take time. All right, let's move on from this. Come on, read it again.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
You can't be hasty to credit nobody. You got to be on point. You got to test that person. You got to know for sure. And the only way to know for sure is by actions. You got to see actions. And if they do have bad, they have flaws with them, you want to see how they do with trying to correct that flaw as well. Do they have the mind to acknowledge it? Give me 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 20. These are very important stages that you cannot miss. If you decide to get married in the truth, you can't treat it like it's just another regular thing. It's not a regular thing. The type of woman you marry is going to determine your success rate in this truth. Captain Joel always say that. That's true. That's 100% true. The type of woman you pick is going to determine your success rate in this truth. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 20. But in a great house there are not only vessels of gold,
Come on,
and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor.
So it's very important to understand the scripture right here. Here in IUIC, this is the great house. Give me Matthew chapter 15 and 24 real quick to prove what the house is. Matthew 15 and 24.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24.
Come on.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So that's the great house. The house is the house of Israel. Come on. Go back.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Come on.
But in a great house
In Israel.
there are not only vessels of gold and of silver.
So the vessels of gold and silver is that righteous brother and sister. Come on.
but also of wood and of earth.
That wood and earth is evil, brothers and sisters. And they may have the appearance of being righteous and all of that. They got the friends on, keep Sabbath day holy. They say flattering words. They talk, but you don't know for sure because that's the representative. So the key thing, a foundational thing that you have to understand is within Israel, within IUIC, there are vessels of honor and vessels to dishonor. Now you got to be careful how you walk this path because you could get caught up with a woman that's a vessel to dishonor. That's wood and stubble. You got to be careful. Is there more? No, that's it. Okay, from there, give me Sirach chapter 26 and 3. There's two kinds of women in this truth. Two kinds. Two kinds. And the majority, afterwards, I'm gonna explain that. But read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 3.
Come on.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
You have two kinds of women. You have a good wife. Read it again.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
In order to get a good wife, you got to fear the Lord. And pay attention to the wording too. Read it again.
A good wife.
What's a good wife? Give me Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Romans 7 and 12. What is good? What's a good wife?
The book of Romans.
What does a good wife mean? It don't mean that, oh, she's pretty and she talks soft, and she's here on Saturdays and there ain't none of that. It's not that. You don't classify somebody. You don't give them the title of being good based off of physical appearances and how well they carry themselves and all that. It's not that. This is the lens that you got to look at things through. This is the lens you got to look at life through. Read it.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good.
So we know the commandments, the laws, is what's good. So go back to Sirach 26 and 3. I mean, we at 3? Come on.
Book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 3. A good wife
is a woman that's keeping the commandments. A woman that's God-fearing. A woman that's keeping the laws. That's what a good wife is. It says what?
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given.
Stop. Which shall be what?
Which shall be given.
You got to pay attention to that word. It said given. They ain't say you choose, you find, you seek and then find. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It says she is given. Given. That means God is the one that's going to bring that woman into your life. And how does God do that? How does God do that? That's when your leadership that's over you know, okay, this brother is single. He got his stuff together. That's a good brother. This sister's a good sister. She been working, she been laboring, she been putting in the work. We're going to give her to this brother right here. That's the Lord doing that. That's God himself doing that. That's not man. That's God controlling that. So the only way for that to happen is you doing the work. You being sincere in this truth. You keeping the commandments. You doing your thing. Then when that time rolls around, God is going to put the spirit on the leaders that's over you. And they're going to see that both of y'all, that's a good match right there. We're going to link these two together. That's God doing that. That's how that works. You will never get a good wife off Facebook. You will never get a good wife off Instagram. You will never get a good wife off TikTok. It's not happening. Oh, but she's a part of the body and she just messaged me. She's just trying to be friends. It's not happening. No godly woman is going to do that. Every godly woman is going to respect the order that's within the body. She's going to respect the leaders. She's going to honor the leaders as fathers. They're not going to go around and try to circumvent to do their own thing just to satisfy their urges. They're not going to do that. They're going to move right. That's what's going to happen. So read it again.
A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion.
Find her. She's given. Come on.
Which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Lord.
So you want to be successful. You want to have a successful marriage. You want to be successful in this truth. Fear the Lord. Fear the Lord. Put him first. Keep the commandments and do the work. Read.
Whether a man be rich.
Okay, that's it on that. Where we at? Give me Sirach chapter 26 and 3. So that's one kind of woman. A godly woman, a good woman. Which is what you want. But here's what you don't want. Read.
Book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
You see that right there? Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
That says what it says. That says what it says. Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
That's what happened to me. That's why I'm able to talk about these things. That's what happened to me. My mind wasn't about fearing God and doing what's right. My mind was to satisfy my impulses, my lusts, my urges. I want to do what I feel inside. That was my mind. I'm like, okay, all right, you want to roll that way? I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to hem you up. I'm going to hem you up. I will bring you out of the situation, and you're going to learn from it, but I'm going to touch you up. I'm going to teach you a very hard lesson. I'm going to teach you a very hard lesson in life, and you're going to learn from it too. That's what happened to me. Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Because your mind is not to serve God. Your mind is not to do what's right. Your mind is not on righteousness. Your mind is on lust, your impulses, your sexual desires. If you let that drive you, you're going to pay for it. Literally, you're going to pay for it. How you going to pay for it? Child support. Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's cut and dry like that. It's cut and dry. You can't go around that. You can't dare open your mouth and say, oh, this woman I got is wicked. And then, no. You say you wicked. If your wife is wicked, that means you wicked. That's what it is. That's what it is. So you can either stay that way or you could decide, you know what? I'm going to fix myself and get right with God and do what the Lord commands me to do. Those are the two options. It's up to you what you're going to do. So it's good to go through things and learn from your mistakes. It's even better to learn from another man's mistake. So that's why I think this class is very important, you know, for me to mention these things and speak about my experience and my faults and shortcomings, because I want others to learn from it and not make the same mistakes. You don't have to go through all of that and make the same mistakes just to, sometimes you don't make it back from that. Everybody's not the same. Sometimes you get caught up in certain things and the Lord leave you. The reason why I'm here today and I'm able to talk about these things is because God brought me through that and he brought me back from it. He wanted me to learn certain things about life. And I got to learn for myself, but it wasn't just for me. It was for y'all too. You young brothers that's here. It's to help build brothers, strengthen brothers, protect brothers. So I understand. But y'all don't make the same mistakes and repeat the same things. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord.
That's what you want, brothers. And in order to get that, you got to be patient. You got to have self-worth. And we say self-worth, first and foremost, you're supposed to be seeking out your own soul salvation. You're supposed to be getting right with God. You're supposed to be prioritizing serving God. God is supposed to be first. That's what's supposed to be first. And anything else you incorporate into your life must be an additive to you serving God. It shouldn't be subtracting from you. So how the hell you going to come and say you serving God, but then you're going to make an impulsive decision and bring another element into your life that's going to take away from you serving God? That make no sense. That means you don't value your soul. You don't understand your worth. That's low self-esteem. Any man that's in his right frame of mind is going to pick a woman that is going to compliment him getting the kingdom. Him conquering this world. Him conquering this flesh and getting eternal life. He's going to make sure that woman compliments that. That's how we all got to think. That's how we all got. I wasn't thinking like that. I had to learn that. I'm learning that. No, but that's how we all got to think. The urges and the lust is real. All of that is real. But your priorities must be in order. What is more important? Your soul or some mediocre coochie? You got to decide. You must decide what's more important. You don't make long-term Bishop said that before. You don't make long-term decisions on short-term impulses. You will pay for it. Where we at? Sirach 26 and 23, right? Give me Proverbs 31 and 30. Proverbs 31 and 30.
The book of Proverbs,
And I
chapter
ain't ashamed to talk about my situation. I want brothers to learn and evolve and be better. You know, I want brothers to not fall to those traps that's set in this world, because this whole life, this whole thing is a test. You don't come here and think I'm here living my life and doing my thing. Nah, this whole thing is a course. It's a test. It's a test. And there's many pitfalls along the course. There's many areas where you can go off and make mistakes. And some things you don't come back from. This is one of the major things you don't come back from. Come on.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 30. Favor is deceitful.
You see that? Favor, that's going into physical appearance. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh, my gosh. Read it again.
Favor is deceitful.
That look, the good looks is deceptive. How is it deceiving you? It's deceiving the mind. It's obscuring the mind. That favor, and the favor ain't just the good looks. I'm going to explain that later, as a matter of fact. That word favor is going to come back around. Read it again.
Favor is deceitful.
That's physical appearance. Come on, it's deceitful. Come on.
And beauty is vain.
That beauty right there is vain. Beauty is vain. She going to look pretty today in her 20s and all that. By the time she's 40, she look like Harriet Tubman. God damn. Some women age different. Some women got bad genes. Some women age, how you say, like wine. And they grow into their beauty over time. And that's usually that girl that you make fun of in high school. Oh, you little what do you call them? You a nerd. A bookworm. And she looks, what you call that, with the teeth over by, with buck tooth and all of that. And none of the brothers is looking for that. Nobody's paying attention to that. But as years progress and she evolves she grows into being a woman, then everybody start paying attention to her. Like, damn, that's such and such from back. Damn. You look crazy. So some sisters age like that. And some, what you call that? The looks get better over time. And some, the looks get worse over time. Some look good in high school, they well developed and everything look all nice and plump, right? And as they age, everything just starts looking decrepit, and they lose figure, they lose their shape, and it's like, damn, is that such and such from damn. I'm just saying, that's how things is. Some people got messed up genes. Some people got good genes. It is what it is, right? But the Bible says, read it again.
Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain.
It's here today and gone tomorrow. Here today and gone tomorrow. As you married in years past, like as you age, you may have married a 7. After a while, she might, she turned into a 5 or a 4 as time go on. That's just the order of things. That's what it is. But that beauty that you allow to obscure your judgment, God is letting you know that it's a vain thing. It's deceptive. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Read.
Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain.
Come on.
But a woman that feareth the Lord.
See that? A woman that feareth the Lord. This is the good woman. That's that God-fearing sister. It says what?
But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
You see how Solomon is making that comparison to the woman that has favor, and then the one that's God-fearing. the woman that's God-fearing, sometimes she ain't on that with the look, she ain't on that type of level. And to be honest, you don't need that. Because you know what you're going to do if you have that? If you the type that you all about looks and all that, and you get what you want. You get what your eyes lust after. You're going to turn that woman into a god. That's what you're going to do. You're going to worship that woman instead of God. You're going to put her before God. She's going to become the apple of thine eye. That's why God had to take away Ezekiel's wife. God said, you know what? Tomorrow your wife is going to die, and you better not cry and go out and teach because she's the apple of your eye. We're going to show you another place that happened too in the Bible. Where we at? Verse 30, right? Yes, sir. Keep reading because this is an attribute that you must pay attention to in a godly woman. Come on.
But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
Mm-hmm.
Give her of the fruit of her hands.
Come on.
And let her own works.
You see that? Let her own works. Do what?
Praise her in the gates.
Let her own works, because her works is a sign of her belief. A woman, you want a sister that's active in this truth. She's known for doing good works in this truth. Damn, that's a good sister. She do this. She on the multimedia team. She help out printing the flyers. She's on community outreach. She's helping out with the young sisters. She's in Zion dances. She's in the kitchen. Whatever. She's helping out with different offices. She got to have works. The works is a sign of her faith. You cannot skip that. That's right. You cannot skip that. That's also letting you know some women that's attractive and all that, they don't feel they need to get up and do nothing and lift a fingernail. They don't need to. They want to just sit still and look pretty and pose off and think, yeah, I'm to be worshipped and everything revolves around me. I'm the center of the solar system. That's how some women think. Because that beauty, it gets to their heads. Why? Because it's a lot of dudes telling them, yo, ma, you look nice. You look, yo, I'll give you $30,000 to da-da-da. You know? So that thing, the compliments and it gets to their heads. They get high-minded, and they think they the ish, and they above doing the work in the truth. They above getting involved and helping to deal with sisters, build with sisters. They think they above that. So you got to avoid that type of woman. That type of woman, 9 times out of 10, will destroy you. Will destroy you. That's if that's your thing. If you hung up, that's your if that's your weakness. That's what's gonna happen. So where we at? 31. From there, 1 Samuel chapter 1 and 13. Because as we read in 1 Timothy chapter 2, what was that, 20? About vessels of honor and then vessels to dishonor. There's 2 kinds of women in this truth. There's a good woman and then there's an evil woman. You want a God-fearing woman. That's a daughter of Sarah because she's going to do the same things that Sarah did. Sarah was God-fearing. She kept the commandments and she honored and reverenced her husband. Then you got the other type. Read.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hannah, she spake in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard.
The background to this history is that Hannah was barren for years, and she always wanted a child, but every time she tried to have a child with her husband, it didn't work. The Lord didn't open her womb. So the other wives made fun of her, and they used to clown her, and they used to tell her things like, God ain't God, you curse. You barren, you curse. And it used to get to her. So in an attempt to get a child and it didn't work out, she was she was praying to the Lord, and she was asking the Lord to bless her with a child. And she said that I'm gonna devout this child. I'm gonna give this child to you. I just bless me with a child, because our sisters think different back then. These women today, they put career first. They put school first. They put their job first. Back then, our sisters understood it was an honor to bear the children of the gods. She understood that. She knew that was a high honor. She knew that was her divine role. She knew that was her calling as a woman. She understood her job was to replicate the gods on the earth. She understood that. And she wanted to fulfill her duty. So she's praying to the Lord, and she's asking the Lord, what? Read.
Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved.
So she was praying, but she's speaking in her mind, but her mouth is moving. Come on.
But her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she had been drunken.
So Eli was the high priest. So she there praying in her mind and speaking. So he think, yo, you look like you drunk. Why are you doing that? Come on.
And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee.
Put away the wine. Stop getting drunk, sister. Come on.
And Hannah answered and said, no, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord.
Come on.
Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial.
So that's the point I wanted to get to. He says, count not what?
Count not thy handmaid for a daughter of Belial.
A daughter of Belial is a daughter of the devil. You got daughters of God, and then you got daughters of the devil. You have daughters and they in here right now. They in here right now. They are demons. They are hell spawns. They are demons incarnate. And you won't know who they are until you prove them. Because it's impossible for a demon to make it through the test. They can't make it through it. The Bible already says that. The Bible says that they going to declare what that work is, whether it be of gold, silver, precious stone, or wood, hay, and stubble. That wood, hay, and stubble cannot survive fire. It cannot. It's impossible. That's why you need to test. You won't know for sure. You don't know if you got a daughter of Belial on your hands. Okay, where we at? All right, give me Sirach chapter 7 and 6 again. 6 and 7. You got the daughters of Belial, or the daughters of the devil, and then you got daughters of Sarah. Which one are you? Come on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Read.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
You need to test that, sister. You need to test. You got to know for sure. Read.
And be not hasty to credit him.
Don't let the favor and the beauty make you deceive your mind and you think, nah, this is the right one. I'm telling you. Yeah, she disrespectful, but this is the right one. Yeah, she just slapped her mom in the face the other day, but I'm telling you, this is the right one. Yeah, she just stabbed her brother the other day, but this is the right one. She got into a fist fight with her sister, but I'm telling you, this is the right one. Yeah, I corrected her and she tried to spit in my face, but I'm telling you, though, that's the right one. That beauty, that favor, if you don't have no type of self-worth and self-value, you will allow it to obscure your mind. You will be oblivious. You are an idiot. You're a fool.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Come on.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
You don't know what occasion this person wants you for. You don't know what, like a brother went on a radio show before, IUIC radio show, and he started to disclose, I have this much amount in my bank account and this and that and this and that. I'm like, yo, why is he saying that? Are you thinking you saying that you're gonna attract the right person to you, the right woman? You're not doing, nah. You're attracting demons. People got different agendas. Don't think because they come inside the body and they hear and everybody's all shalom, most sign Christ bless, mean that everybody got the same agenda. Everybody does not have the same agenda. Some people are here to destroy you. Some people are here to make your life a living hell. That's their motive. And it doesn't bother their conscience. That's their job. That's what they were created to do. Come on.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
You see that? Some woman will get married to you, and when you doing good, everything is all right. You doing good financially, everything is all right. You buying her the things she want. Can't get this new fridge, this new stove, this new car, all the nice clothes and stuff like that. Everything is all good. Oh, I love my husband, and he's the greatest, and I will always stick with this man until death do us part. No, you will stick with him until money does you part. That's when you will leave, because that is your basis of staying with that man. That was your motive of operation. Be aware of these covetous hoes. I wanted to say something. Read it again.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
As soon as you fall on hard times, she's nowhere to be found. You broke. What? You want me to stay with you? You want me to help? What? You want me to help you? Nigga, go and get a job, nigga. What you think this is? You want me to comfort you and to help motivate you and breathe that life into you? That the job of the woman to encourage the man and to let him know, like, yo, you could do this. Like, you could go out there and go get him. I believe in you. She ain't gonna be doing none of that. Some people, everybody got different motives. Y'all gotta understand that. Everybody is not here to serve God. Some women come in the congregation, you know why? Because we went to cities and we marched in the cities and we sing that song, take care of our wives and our children too. So when they hear that, they're like, oh, these niggas got money. I'm about to go get me one of them purple and gold. I'm about to go get me one of them. You get married to one of them type of woman, and you don't get a prenup or nothing. You get married to her, and then after a year or so, she decides, you know what? It's not what I want. I don't want to be married to you anymore. I'm not feeling this. I ain't believe the Bible. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of this. And she decides to leave, and you get a divorce. But you lose damn near everything. You lose all your substance. Why? Because you're not following the guidelines that wisdom is laying out for us. We got to follow these guidelines right here. This is our protection, brothers. You must understand your life, that soul. Your soul is precious. I know in the world we've been groomed to believe that we niggas and we ain't no good. Niggas ain't ish. But according to God, our soul is precious. Keep reading.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Some women only want you in your prosperity. They only want you in the good times and not in the bad times. That's not a wife. Read. That's a hoe. Read.
And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach.
What verse is that? Verse 9. Read it again.
And there is a friend.
There's a wife. Read.
Who, being turned to enmity.
Turn to hatred. Why? Hatred. Why would they turn to hatred? From you correcting them. From you telling them the things about themselves that they don't want to hear. Oh, you're attacking me. That's abuse. You tell her, yo, you got to submit. You're not supposed to gossip, sister. You got to learn to love the Lord. Now you get mad and it turns into hatred. And that hatred does what? Read.
Who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach.
So she will go out and air out your dirty laundry on social media. She will air out your business on social media. This is that vindictive type. Can't stand your guts. I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna bury you. I'm gonna destroy your character. I'm gonna make sure everybody looks at you like a piece of ish. Read.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table.
He's a companion in your prosperity. When everything is all good, you living it up. Read.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
See that? In the day of your affliction. That's so heavy right there. A lot of brothers is joined to spouses right now that they will leave you when the affliction starts. They will leave you. But you don't know for sure. You got to live with that doubt in the back of your mind. You know why? Because you never tested her. You never proved her. You never made sure. You have to live with that doubt in the back of your mind now. You don't know what she's going to do because you never presented any hard situations for her to deal with. You never designed trials. You never designed tests for her to deal with in order for her to earn that title of being your wife. So you don't know. So you got to wait for that time to come now to see what she going to do. She may damn well give you up. Oh, he over there hiding with them niggas. I'm not with that. He's with that. He'd have dragged me along with him. He forced me. I was fearful for my life. That's why I stayed with him. I was in fear for my life. That's why I never, that's why. I'm telling you, that will happen. That will happen. That will happen. Read.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Okay, keep going.
But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself.
Okay, from there, give me Proverbs 11 and 4. No, Sirach 32 and 18. Sirach 32 and 18.
Book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 18.
Come on.
A man of counsel will be considered. A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear.
So we just went over some of the attributes. There's a lot of different red flags. But our forefathers, through their experiences, they laid out guidelines and rules for us to walk. If we follow them things, if we follow those rules, we're going to do all right. Those rules are set for our protection. He's letting you know the type of woman to avoid, the type of people not to bring into your life. It's very important. You don't just give out the title of a wife or a title of a friend just to anybody. You don't do that. That's a title that needs to be earned. And we got to learn from the examples. When did God call Abraham his friend? When? After he saw Abraham was literally about to kill Isaac, he's like, yo. Now I see, you ain't even hold back your only son from me. Then God called him his friend. So that's the same way we got to deal. Everybody got to prove themselves by action, not by words. Words don't mean nothing. You got to prove by actions. Read that.
Verse 18. A man of counsel will be considerate.
So, brothers in this truth, we got to be men of counsel. What does it mean to be men of counsel? You have to get advice. You cannot make decisions on your own at all. Don't do that. Don't do that. Read it again.
A man of counsel will be considerate.
We got to be men of counsel. We got to go and get advice. We got to make sure. Sometimes you ain't looking at things right. Sometimes your vision is obscured. Sometimes you don't have the experience needed to deal with the situation that you're presented with. And if you deal with it on your own, you're going to fail. You have to get advice when dealing with a spouse, when vetting a spouse, because there's a lot of pointers, there's a lot of signals, there's a lot of flags that red flags that the person may give off. And you may not see all of it. And it's the things you don't see. It's the things you don't pay attention to and address. Those become major issues. And that mistake will lead to your detriment. When dealing with every situation, you got to make sure you deal with it properly. It got to be with wisdom and counsel. It has to be. You can't deal with situations half-assed. You can't deal with situations partly. You have to address every single point. You got to make sure you deal with it 100%. You have to. When you get in a, you have to get counsel. You vetting a spouse, you must get counsel. There are things that you will miss. There are things that will go over your head because your judgment is obscured. Because, and on one hand, okay, you testing her, but on the other hand, you have a liking towards this person, so you're more prone to wanting to justify this person because you want that person. Read it again.
A man of counsel will be considerate. But
Read it again.
A man of counsel will be considerate.
You're going to consider the situation. You know what? Maybe I don't see everything properly. Let me get some advice. Let me make sure that I'm dealing with the situation the right way. Okay, I'm talking to this sister, and she said X, Y, and Z. I'm looking at it one way. But you know what? Let me go and get some advice to see if there's something I may not be picking up on in the situation. All these things is important steps in the process. If you ain't do none of this, I'm telling you, you finished. Read.
A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear.
You see how it says a strange and what?
And proud man.
You see how he's using the same word again from the strange? Why are you strange? Because you're not adhering to the commandments. You're a stranger to the commandments. Your mind is not on serving God. You're a stranger to God. You don't know God. Because remember the scripture says, he that say, I know him and don't keep the commandments is a liar. If you don't keep the commandments, you're a stranger to God because he don't know you. You're a stranger. Who are you? Read it again.
A man of counsel will be considerate.
No, 18.
Verse 18.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
A man of counsel will be considerate.
Come on.
But a strange and proud man,
A man that's not keeping the commandments, come on,
is not daunted with fear.
because he doesn't have the fear of God in him. Read.
Even when of himself he have done without counsel.
You moving without no counsel, no advice. You doing things on your own. You making decisions based on your impulses. You're an idiot. Read.
Do nothing without advice.
You got to read that slow and stress every single syllable of each phrase in every word. Read it again.
Do nothing without advice.
I'm saying that because I have to learn that the hard way. I have to make decisions without advice. I have to make decisions without counsel. But Bible says what?
Do nothing without advice.
You cannot decide to bring a spouse, get a spouse without proper advice. It won't work. It's not going to work. Anybody that's godly is going to follow these guidelines right here. Read.
Do nothing without advice. And when thou hast once done, repent not.
Okay, from there, give me on Proverbs 11 and 14.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 14.
Come on.
Where no counsel is, the people fall.
If you're not getting counsel, you're going to fall. Read.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
In counsel, there is safety. There is safety in counsel. Safety from what? All of the different areas where you can fall. The trap set in this life where you can fall into. You're protected from it. You don't go through a life of stress and having to restart because you picked the wrong spouse. She took every damn thing from you. She took the house and the car and the kids and everything. Now you got to restart. Counsel would protect you from that being the outcome in your life. That's how important that is. You need to value that. You got to value that. Is there more?
That was it on that.
Read it again.
Verse 14. Where no counsel is, the people fall.
Where no counsel is, you will fall. Definitely will fall. Read.
But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety.
There's safety. You won't have to be out. You won't be, you there depressed and all down. Like, we lost everything. You know. You don't got to go through all of that if you follow what the scripture says. So you can either learn that way or you can learn the hard way. It's up to you. Read Proverbs chapter 6, verse 26.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse
You want to
26.
get a spouse in this truth, and you want to, these are the guidelines you got to follow. You must understand this. This is supposed to be your mindset. I got to get counsel. I got to pay attention to red flags. I got to make sure that I'm testing this person. That's how you got to think, brothers. If you're not thinking like that, something is wrong with you. Something is seriously wrong with you. Read.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 26.
Come on.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
That's some heavy stuff. Read it again.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
Damn. You know, and that even fits. You know why that's so heavy? Even these sisters that do hustle marriages. The reason I say hustle marriages is because when they get married to you because of your substance and all the things that you have, then they decide a year later to get a divorce and move on and take half your stuff. That's a hustle. It's big business. It's big business. This generation is different. They are calculated with it. No, the Bible called it she's a whore. She is a scam and all that, but it says that's a whore right there. Because only a whore would decide, I'm going to get married to this man, and by the 2 years later, I'm going to leave him. I'm going to find somebody else. You a hoe when you think like that. Damn! You in a relationship and you thinking, I'm going to devise a way to escape from this man and go find somebody else. You a hoe. You're a whore. Only whores think like that. They be the first to be like, I'm not a whore and he did wrong and this. Nah, you're a hoe. You're a whore with a capital W. Whore. Read it again.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
Damn, she took everything from you, bruh. She took everything. You just got a slice of bread left to your name.
Emotional damage.
Damn, read.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
I like the way you stress that word right there. Because this is warfare going on. This is what we're reading about. This is warfare. This is live action warfare. You got to see it. Read it again. And the what?
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
It's a hunt. It's a hunt. This walk in this life is not, it's not you come here and you live life and la 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 and everything is all good. No, this is war. You come here and this is test day in, day out. This is war. You make the wrong decisions, you can lose your soul. That's what's going on. You have obstacles. You have adversaries. You got Satan and his minions coming after you. And Satan's minions, they don't come to you with horns on their head and giant saber-toothed teeth sticking out their mouth. That's not how they come to you. They come to you with a pretty face, a big chest, and a big old behind. That's how they come. There's war going on. You got to see, you got to change your perspective. You got to start looking at it through the lens of the Bible. That's what's going on. Read it again.
And the adulteress.
There's a lot of adulteresses walking around now acting all innocent within this body right here. Putting on the guise of righteousness and shalom, O Saint Christ. Nah. You got to be able to see through all of that. Only the men that's really trying to serve God is going to survive these hoes.
That's right.
Read.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious.
Hold on. Hunt. They hunting for prey. Hunting to devour souls. Hunting to destroy you. They hunting your soul to drag you into the lake of fire. That's what that's talking about.
Message.
That hunt is to get that soul into the lake of fire. Read it again, bro.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
So I got a story. Okay, so this is when I just got divorced. This was in New York. It's like 2 weeks or so after. And I come into the school, and I'm standing by the audio booth in the school, and this sister comes in, and she turns the thing after you security search you. She come in, and the first thing she do is this. She looked me dead in the eye. Now the thing about it is, when people look you in the eye, you make eye contact with them. What do you normally do? What do you naturally do? You stare away. Okay, all right. You look. All right, let me not be obvious with it, right? Turn away. She ain't do that. She ain't do that. She stood there. I turned around and saw her, and she looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she looking at me, and I'm like, okay, and I turned away. I had to turn away, like, oh, all right, what's going on here? So that was a statement being made. She was saying something without saying it, right? So went from there. Yeah, she's on the hunt. This is what I'm explaining. It goes perfectly with this scripture right here. So it was another time when she keep trying things, trying. So she tried, like, you got to pay attention to them sisters that come around and they try to get you by yourself, and they try to get you to open a line of communication with them and start talking to them. All of that is evil. That's not righteous. Don't take that for flattery, like, oh, damn, I must be like handsome. I must be the shit. Like, nah. No, they're hunting for your soul. That's what's going on. So she keep trying little things, little different things. You know? And at one point, you're like, yo, because you could tell what people thinking through the way they look at you. And you know, women because she's an attractive sister. She look good. So women that look good, they accustomed to men giving them attention and men appeasing to them, and you understand? Like, they are accustomed to that. So when you run into a man now that's like, well, you're not paying attention to me. You gay or something? You homosexual? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you not paying attention to me? So she was trying to figure it out. So I'm in the front of the school. I went to go to the bathroom. This is in New York. I went to go to the bathroom. She comes in. She comes around. She watches me go to the front, and she walks around, and I'm there talking to the brothers. She runs into me breast first. And says, oh, it's an accident. Oh, I didn't mean to run into you, this and that, this and that. And then she walks off, and she does this evil laugh, like, it was a joke. You can't take a joke. And in my mind, I'm there discombobulated, because when a woman run into you, like, you understand? Like, it ain't just, it was intentional. Like, okay, this is what I'm working with. You running from this, like, what's wrong with you? This is what I'm working with. This is what I'm working with. You keep hiding and running from me for. What's wrong with you? So all the brothers saw it. They're like, yo, they saw it. So it went from there. I still ain't giving no time, but they don't pay. She's still there hunting. It's like, okay, if I can't get to him like that, I'm going to try to get close to the brothers that's around him, to get him to lower his guard. So she's like, okay, he does music and stuff like that. Okay, well, I do music too. And she does this recording or a song or whatever, and give it to, I'm not going to mention the brother name, but he fell for it. She gave it to him, and he bring it to me. And he playing the recording, and like, yeah, she do music and this and that. And I'm listening to it, and all I'm hearing on the phone is like, it's like, sound like bathroom singing. It's sound horrible. I'm like, what the hell
Stop
is
it.
that? That's singing? The hell is that? You know? And then I already saw what it was. So I'm like, nah, So she kept trying stuff. trying stuff, hunting. Then, this is a long story. What? Then, wait, did anything, let me think. Okay, then the Jersey school opened. Moved from New York, we in Jersey now. Building with Jersey now. Okay, so she went away for some time, overseas somewhere, and then came back. When she came back, she went to New York initially. You went to New York and saw that, man, this nigga ain't there. Where he at? This nigga ain't there. She came back on a hunt. You know how I say, oh, Satan depart for a season? She departed for a season and she came back like round two. Let me see if I could get him in round two. So she come to New York, realized, oh, he ain't there. Where he at? So she realized, oh, he in Jersey. Next week, he in Jersey. She in Jersey. And still trying to make eye contact and all that. And I'm there like, I'm not entertaining it. Not entertaining it. And she like, okay, all right, I'm going to try another way. So she go to talk to one of the officers over here and found out the officers that I'm over. And she's like, okay, I bet. He's over that. I want to be a part of community outreach. Let's go. Let's get it. You have no choice but to deal with me. I'm like, nah. There's different sections within community outreach. You're going to deal with the man that's over that department. You ain't dealing with me. So kept trying. After a while, she stopped, gave up, Then, a little while after, we get a report. The report is, his sister's out in the world scamming dudes. She got mad boyfriends, and she's a sugar baby. That's what you call it? She has sugar daddies. And she's out and she just running rampant. Catching bodies after bodies after bodies. Damn. So the reason why I mentioned that story is because the Bible says what? Read it again.
And the adulteress will hunt.
What was that? What were you?
Book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 26.
Yeah, man.
For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread.
So you mess with a woman like that, you will be brought to a piece of bread. You will be brought to a piece of bread. Don't mess with these groupie hoes. There's a lot of, I'm telling you, brothers, that your leadership over you choose the spouse for you. Don't choose on your own. Don't fall for the first woman that's showing you some type of attention. It is a trap. I know what I'm talking about. It's a trap. Don't do it. Read.
And the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
That's serious. She will hunt for your what?
For the precious life.
Our life is precious. Our soul is precious. And Satan's job is to try to destroy us. And he's going to come through his minions. This is real. This is very real. Brothers, you got to pay attention. You got to see things for what it is. We must see things for what it is. Don't get caught up in, oh, she look pretty and she showing me attention and she's saying flattering things and she giving eyes and eye contact. And don't do it. I'm telling you, don't entertain that. You're going to be sorry. Where we at?
That was end of verse 26.
All right, give me Sirach chapter 26 and 14.
Book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse.
What I'm going over is the signals, the signs, the red flags you must avoid. None of these women that got these negative traits, you cannot build nothing with them. You cannot. You can't. It's not going to work. No, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. You must build with a godly woman. You must. But in order to know, okay, the traits and the attributes of a godly woman, in order to decipher and to know right from wrong, we got to go through these different examples. You must know, okay, all right, I can't, the flattery and all that, the physical appearances, I can't allow that to obscure my vision. I must get counsel. I must look for the godly traits. I must look for a sister that's putting works in this body. This is the type I got to avoid. This is the type I must look for. We must know. We got to be on point with it. We can't just make any rash, impulsive decisions. It's very serious. Your soul is very serious. Don't just cast it away. Don't don't allow people to come into your personal space on the merit of being looking good, looking attractive. That's not how this works. You got to value yourself. Read.
Book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
So this is we're going to get into it now. This is what you got to look for. Read it again.
A silent and loving woman.
You know what that silent, you know how heavy this silent part is? You don't hear their name coming up in stuff in the body. You don't hear their name coming up in gossip and murmuring and in people's business, being a busybody. You don't hear none of that. They doing the work. You correct them, they're going to be like, okay, I understand. I'm going to fix it. They humble. They submissive. Every woman don't have that. A lot of women don't have that. Read.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
This type is a gift. A gift is something that's given. A gift is not something you find. It's given to you. A gift is given to you. And the reason why it's given to you is because you've shown yourself to be a righteous man. You doing what you're supposed to do. So God says, you know what? I see it's time. I'm going to give him this sister to add to him. She's going to aid him in this truth. She's going to help build and your success rate is going to increase. Or it's not going to diminish because you're not dealing with the wrong person. You're dealing with the right person. So your success rate is going to be up there. Read.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
A mind well instructed meaning a mind that fear God, a mind that wants to do the commandments. That trumps beauty all day long. All day long. A mind well instructed. I want to serve God and I want to do what's right. And then the man you get married to, you want to do right by him. You're going to honor that man and reverence that man. You're going to do right by that man. Every woman don't think like that. It's a select few that think like that. Read.
There is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Come on.
A shamefast and faithful.
What? Shamefast.
Excuse me. A shamefaced and faithful woman.
That's a humble woman. A shamefaced woman is a humble woman. She know her place. Shamefaced it too. She not all in men's face. She ain't there looking in your eye and making eye contact with you, staring into your soul like, nigga, I want you. I'm going to get you. I got to have you. She ain't going to be doing that. She going to be shamefaced. And if she feeling some type of way about you, like, damn, you know, I see this dude, I feel tingly on the inside. She get butterfly. She going to talk to the leaders like, you know, I feel this way about this brother. Like, what y'all think? She going to roll like that. Read.
A shamefaced and faithful woman.
Faithful meaning she believes. She going to be loyal to you. Read.
Is a double grace.
What?
A double grace.
Damn, that's what you need in your life, brothers. You need a double grace. You need a double grace. Because this world is crazy. We already got a lot we got to deal with. How you going to be there fighting lions and tigers and bears and goblins and all type of demons out there in the world, and then you come inside and then you got to prepare for another war inside the house? Like, come on, man. That's the time you need to recuperate and get your strength back up to go out there the next day to go and fight again. This is a crazy world we live in. There's a crazy fight that we got to fight. You need a double grace in your life. You need that space, that time, that comfort. You need that. And only this type of woman is going to provide that. You got to make the right decision to make sure that that woman like that is going to maintain your peace of mind. You're going to be there stressed out and you ain't going to be doing none of that. Your mind is going to be focused. Your mind is going to be where it needs to be. That's what we need, brothers. Read.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. And her continent mind cannot be valued.
She got control, restraint. She's disciplined. That's what continent means. Her mind is different. She controls herself. She's not impulsive. She can control, even if you correcting her and about something, she's not gonna disrespect you. She's not gonna violate. You know what? Okay, all right. Remember how Sarah dealt with Abraham? Sarah said, "All right, Lord," because she was saying, "Yo, Ishmael, that's not that's not gonna be the heir." And Abraham like, "Yo, I ain't gonna listen to you, whatever, like whatever, woman." And Sarah response was, "Okay, Lord, that's a continent mind. Any woman that think like that, that's a daughter of Sarah right there. Come on,
That's right.
And her continent mind cannot be valued.
that's different. Gotta let you know that's where it's at. That's the business right there. Not how good they look. That's a part of it. And every man love beauty and all that, but that's not the focal point. The main thing is the mind. Where's the mind at? Where's that spirit at? What type of soul is inside that vessel right there? Because you could be having a demon state that driving around that evil spirit in a beautiful body. An unclean spirit inside of a good-looking body. You could run into that right there. From there, Sirach chapter 36 and 24.
The book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
So when you get a wife, in order to get a wife, like when you get a wife, before you marry that woman, you got to prove her first. She got to go through all of them obstacles that you set for her in order for her to prove herself. And that's, you said you begin it a possession. When you begin in a possession, it's yours. She's yours to nurture and to guide, to lead and to build up. You got to train her the right way. You know the feminists don't like when men talk like that. When he talking about train, I'm not a dog. I look like a dog to you? Shut up. Women got to be trained to think the right way. They got to be trained to think like you. You got to instill your mind into her. The lessons you teach her is that you put in your software into her mind. And she must operate according to your programming. That's how that's supposed to go. So you get a possession, you begin it a possession, and you must build. You must nurture, you must groom that possession. That means correction got to come out. You got to be able to, you got to be mentally equipped to identify the flaws, shortcomings within that woman in order to fix her. It's your job to fix her. That's why you can't sit there and blame a woman for, you can't do that. It's on you. It's 100% on you. So our job is to see the issue and fix the issue. When Satan jump on them, you got to correct them. Correction must come forth, and every time you correct them, they evolve and they grow. They grow. They learn. Okay, I can't think like this. I can't think like that. It's how you say? It's a progression. And the more time you spend with that woman, the better she becomes because you instill in righteousness within her. That's how that's supposed to go. Come on.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Mm-hmm.
A help like unto himself.
Why does it say a help like unto yourself? Because you instilling your own mentality in her. That same God-fearing complex that you got, that must be transferred to her. You fear God, she got to fear God. It's not two different minds. No, it's not that. That's not how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be a help like unto yourself. She's supposed to be an image of you. Read it again.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession,
Mm-hmm.
a help like unto himself,
Mm-hmm.
and a pillar of rest.
And when you can cultivate a mind and she thinks like you, and she want to do the things that please you, she want to honor you and reverence you, then you have rest. That's a pillar of rest. You come home from fighting all day, from war. When you come home, you get to rest. If you have not cultivated a mind like that, you don't have rest when you go home. You don't have and that's why you're gonna fail, because you don't have time to rest and recuperate. You don't have peace of mind. You don't have peace of mind. So if you're not resting and if you don't have that, how can you succeed? You can't succeed. You can't be successful if you don't have that. When you examine any man in general that's successful and that's married, 100% times, all the time, they got a good woman backing them. Always. Because she's contributing to his success rate. You need a mind like that in your life. And in order to get a mind like that, you must cultivate it. But in order to cultivate it, first and foremost, you got to start on the right platform. The right platform is a godly mind. Once you see this person fears God and she want to do what's right, then you can build on top of that. It don't mean they're going to come perfect and have everything all figured out. That's not what it means. No. They're gonna have that godly trait in them to do what's right, but they're going to have shortcomings. They're going to have flaws in their personality. And it's your job as the man to fix it. And you start when you start proving them. That's the moment you start. When you prove a sister, you're cultivating her for marriage. You cannot start a proven process, skip all the necessary steps, all the essential steps that you need to follow, and then jump straight to marriage. It don't work like that. It's like what that thing you go on the highway, the on-ramp. It's like that proven process is an on-ramp. You getting her up to speed. That's what it is. You got to cultivate the mind. You got to instill in her your mind. You got to teach. You got to fear God. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. You got to build that mind. You got to cultivate that mind. That take work. That take time. That's not a year. That's not 6 months. It don't work like that. You need time to do that. You need time to do that. You don't work like that. Come on.
He that getteth a possession, he that getteth a wife begetteth a possession.
Come on.
A help like unto himself.
Come on.
And a pillar of rest.
Come on.
Where no hedge is.
That hedge is that protection. The protection is that the man. The man is the hedge. You that leader. You the guide. You that the safety net. You that protector. Read.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
That's when that marriage is going to fall apart. And that woman leaves mentally first before she leaves physically. Because you know why? Because you're not stimulating growth in that woman. You're not building her. You're not engaging in building her spirit, strengthening her spirit. That all of that is absent. You haven't set no hedge, so it's easy for Satan to come in and spoil that possession because you set up no defenses. You have built nothing. So of course it's gonna fail. Of course it's gonna fail. Read.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
All right, so from there, where we at? Give me Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Matthew 7 and 24.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse
build.
24.
When you proven is a building process. It's not just, I'm talking and biding time and all that. That's not what that is for. You're supposed to take that time to prove that person, build that person, build and shape her mind into what you want her to be. It's a molding process. You're supposed to be molding and shaping her mind. It's not supposed to be, I love you. Do you love me? What color? What's your favorite color? What food you like to eat? You're supposed to be shaping her mind. She's supposed to be learning how to fear God. She's supposed to be learning how to walk right, how to be faithful, how to have charity, how to love the body, love the Lord, how to be patient, how to be long-suffering, how to deal right with sisters. She's not supposed to be no type of gossiping and murmuring. She's not supposed to be an idiot. She's supposed to have wisdom. And how she get the wisdom is you got to instill that wisdom in her. You got to show her the things to avoid. You got to teach her how to deal with trials when they come, how to make the right decisions in life, how to please God. All these things are part of the proving process. They don't have it all figured out on their own. You can't leave them to themselves and think, oh, they're going to get it. It don't work like that. That's why the Bible say they got to learn from their husbands at home. They don't got it figured out on their own. You got to teach them. You got to engage. You got to make sure their mind is in the right place. And if you skip those steps, you're setting up your own demise, your own destruction, your own fall. You're orchestrating your own fall. Read.
Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them.
That's the sayings of that's wisdom, the commandments, the laws. The Bible says you got to prove a friend. It says you got to counsel. It says don't let the lips of a strange woman flatter you. Don't go after beauty because beauty is vain. Christ said what?
Whosoever heareth the sayings of mine.
Because Christ is the one that's talking to us. Read.
And doeth them. I will liken him unto a wise man.
When you listen to that counsel and you do what's right, you are a wise man. Read.
Which built his house upon a rock.
Now, when you dealing with her, you training her, you proving her, you molding her mind. That's you beginning to build your house. When you building your house, if you want that house to stand, that house got to be built on firm foundation, on strong foundation. Read.
And the rain descended.
Oh, I will liken him unto a wise man, which do what?
I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
That rock is Christ. You building your house on Christ. That's why backdoor marriages always fall apart, because it's not built on Christ. It's built on secrecy, sin, deceit, disrespect, dishonor. It can't stand. It's not going to last. Read.
I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock.
Come on.
And the rain descended.
The rain is trials. Read.
And the floods came.
The trials. Read.
And the winds blew.
Trials. You remember where we read in Sirach chapter 7 about some friend would only stay in your prosperity, but in your time of want, they're not going to be around. Read. That's that trial. That's the tests that come in life. Because in life, there's ups and there's downs. It's not just straight through. Well, for some people, if you're a bastard, life is always good. But for the sons of God, life is ups and downs. You got things you got to go through because God always want to bring you to the next level. So he don't make things easy for you. He always bring things in your life. He give you problems for you to solve problems. He bring drama in your life so you know how to deal with situations. Because you want to make sure that you experience. You want to make sure that you exercise. Your faith is growing. Your mind is growing in the truth. So you don't get to go through life and everything is all good all the time. Not for a son of God. Read.
And the winds blew and beat upon that house.
That's the trials. Read.
And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
And it fell not, meaning that house didn't fall apart. Why it didn't fall apart? Because God joined it together. How you know God joined it together? Because those two, they went through the proving process properly. He tests her. She proved herself. She do got flaws and things like that, but she showed that she is workable. She's moldable. She's, what's that word? Malleable. That's when you know God is joining something together, because it came together under the right circumstances, under the right rules and regulations. They follow the guidelines of what the Bible said. That's how you know when God is putting something together. So it can't fall apart. It can't fall apart because the rain that descended and the flood that came and the winds that blew and beat up on the house. Who do you think that is? That's Satan. Satan will come and try to tear that apart, but the Bible says what God put together, let no man put asunder. That's why it says, and it fell not. Read.
And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
That's what you want to make sure, that you and your spouse is founded on a rock. And how you make sure the rock is Christ. How you make sure you and your spouse is founded on Christ is you got to go through the proper steps that Christ set out for us to follow. You can't skip them. You can't skip them and say, oh, I buy time and everything is good and everything, we did things the right way. No, you didn't. You just buy the time. You just waited like, okay, 1 year passed. You got a year to go. You got 9 months in. 2 weeks, and 5 hours and 35 minutes to get some box.
Stop it.
You know, we almost there. You can't think like that. It don't work like that. And yo, we all deal with lust. We all deal with that. But you cannot use that as an excuse to negate the proper steps you got to take. And the time you got to take to fulfill those steps is very important. You want to be successful in this walk, you make sure you go through them steps. You skip them, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You have a hard lesson to learn in the future. Read.
And it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
Mm-hmm.
And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not.
If you hear the sayings and you choose to ignore them, you want to give in to the head apostle downstairs. Read.
Shall be likened unto a foolish man.
A foolish man is a sinful man. A foolish man is also a simp. Read.
Which built his house upon the sand.
You build your house on unstable ground. That unstable ground, you know what that is? If you don't build on Christ, you know who you build on? Satan. You build on Satan. That's why it says a wicked man is giving a wicked woman is giving to a wicked man. Because who joined that together? Satan. If God didn't join you together, Satan joined you together. It's either or. There's no in between. So if Satan joined you together, then you are founded on sand, unstable ground, a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage, a marriage that will self-destruct in a matter of time. Read.
And every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand.
Come on.
And the rain descended.
When the tests come.
And the floods came.
Mm-hmm.
And the winds blew.
Come on.
And beat upon that house.
You see, you said beat up on that house, meaning you're going to go through hard things sometimes in life. And you need the right spouse there with you to soldier it out with you. Sometimes you got a nice house, nice car, everything, nice job and all that. Lose all of that. Now you got to go and live in a basement somewhere with rats and roaches. You got to live with the homies for a little while. And then you got that soldier right there who just sticking it out with you like, yo, whatever we got to go through, we going to go through it together. That's different. Everybody is not like that. That's what you got to understand. Read.
And beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. And it came to pass.
That's it. Great was the fall of it, meaning a house that's built on sand is going to fall. It's not going to stand. As soon as something pop off, whatever type of trial pop off, it's going to fall apart. It's unstable. It's not founded on the right foundation. It was built improperly. So it will fall apart. Go to Sirach 7:26.
The book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 26. Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
See that? Read it again.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Why is he talking like that? Think about it. Read it again.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Hast thou a wife after your mind? How are you going to get a wife after your mind? Well, why is he asking that question? Because you could have a wife, but she might not be after your mind. So he's asking the question. Read it again.
Hast thou a wife?
You got a wife, but read.
After thy mind?
But is she after your mind? How do you get a wife after your mind? How does that work? It starts from the very beginning. It starts from the proving process. Proving process, you got to be instilling. You got to start to instill your standards within her. She has to pattern her life around the standards that you set for her in righteousness. That got to be the order of things. That got to be the direction you're going in. If you don't set those things in place, then you're not going to have a wife after your mind. You're going to have two separate minds, two separate worlds. When you have a wife after your mind, you're going to be instilling the commandments, the scriptures in that woman. That's what you're going to be doing. She's going to adapt to your mind. She's going to start thinking like you. She's going to start processing situations like you. When trials and tribulations come, she's gonna deal with it the same way you deal with it because you already trained. Yo, this is how you think. This is how you gotta move. This is how you gotta deal with bad times when they happen. This is how you gotta deal with situations. This is how you gotta talk. You gotta think before you talk. You gotta use wisdom. You don't just run your mouth like that. You gotta think about what people saying to you. You gotta have discernment. You gotta pay attention to this world. You gotta pay attention to people around you. You gotta know who's your enemy and who's your friends. You got to know the people around you that's going to do right by you and the people that's there to try to destroy you. You got to know how to deal with people when they attack you. You got to have wisdom. You can't just be moving any type of way. That's the type of conversations you're going to be dealing. You're going to be feeding that woman, and she's going to start to think like you. That's how you deal in a proven process. There's a whole lot of work to be done. There's no time to be there just biding time. There's a whole line of work to do. There's grounds to cover. There's territory to conquer mentally. There's walls you got to break down inside here in their minds. And you got to instill your train of thought, the way you think, the way you move in the truth. You got to instill that. You got to instill the laws. And that's going to come through what? Correction. Correction. You got to evaluate them. You got to see, okay, all right, this is how she thinks, this is how she move. You got to look how they move with their family members. You got to look how they deal with people in the body. And then you got to see, okay, all right, you off right here, you off there. You got to get corrected about this. You got to get corrected about that. So when you get mad, she get in her feelings, you correct her. If she's a godly woman, what is she going to do? She's going to come back around, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I see what I did wrong. That's a godly mind that's going to do that. You can't be afraid of saying something because they're going to get upset. The hell with all of that. It's that self-esteem stuff. You can't think like that. That's a very weak mind to think like that. You afraid of telling somebody something about themselves because they're going to get upset and they're going to get mad at you and they're not going to like you no more. Go to hell, man. You don't like me no more because I tell you what's right. That's how we got to move. That's how we got to move. And the important thing with that is if you're dealing with a woman that's well-favored and very beautiful and all of that, because of your desire for that beauty, that will deter that correction. You start to trim your ways to seek love. You see all the issues and all the faults within that person, but you refuse because you don't want that person being mad at you. You can't think like that. Your mind got to evolve out of that if you think like that. Read.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman.
Where we at?
That was verse 26.
That's Sirach 7, right?
Yes, sir.
Read it again.
Book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Mm-hmm. That's a very important thing. Read.
Forsake her not.
And when you get a woman like that, don't forsake her. Don't deal wrong with that woman. Don't deal evil with that woman, because she's the one that's gonna have your back through all the thick and thin. These other hoes is not gonna have your back. She's gonna be the one that has your back. She's gonna hold you down. She's gonna ride and die with you. Read.
Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman.
The light woman is an idiot. It's a bumbling idiot. Read it again. Give not what?
Give not thyself over to a light woman.
Your woman is supposed to have she's supposed to have understanding of the scriptures. If she don't got understanding of the scriptures, don't marry her. Don't even start. If all she knows is makeup and eyelashes and bubble gum, kick her to the curb now. Get rid of her.
Message.
Kick her to the curb now. She has to have an understanding of what the Bible. They ain't gonna gotta be up there and understanding, because it's not their place to be on that type of. That's our role as the men. But they supposed to have some knowledge of the Bible. They supposed to have, because what they gonna teach your children? What they gonna teach your young sisters? They must know. So how can you get married to a bumbling idiot? Read.
But give not thyself over to a light woman.
Don't do that. You got some ratchet idiots that even come up in here, oh, I'm looking for a man. But they ain't really looking for a man. They're looking for a boyfriend. They looking for a boyfriend. That's what they looking for. Where the man at? Where the man at? I'm gonna find me somebody to make their life a living hell and destroy them. And jump to the next victim. All right, where we at? All right. Give me Genesis 18 and 11. Because when it comes to dealing with when it comes to building or creating a godly woman, you must have the mind to identify their shortcomings, their faults, and there's no such thing as a perfect woman. That's like a unicorn. It don't exist. You gotta build what you see. You gotta imprint your vision. She gotta reflect your vision. You must build her into what you want. She gotta be your creation. And when you've created her mind, she gotta look at you as God. Because that's your creation. You're creating. You're molding her into what you want. You're creating. So you're her God. Read.
Book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 11.
Come on.
Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
Where we at? 18 and what? 11? Verse 11. Come on. It ceased to be with Sarah as the order of woman, right? As the manner of woman. Meaning she went through, what you call that? Menopause. Her womb is closed. Read.
Verse 12. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself.
Because the angels was there talking, and the Lord was speaking through the angels and said, Sarah gonna have a child. And Sarah did what? Sarah overheard it, and she did what?
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself.
Come on.
Saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure?
So she laughing like, after I wax old, I'm gonna have sex. Read.
My Lord being old also.
And Abraham was up in age too. Come on.
And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh?
So the Lord heard it. It says she laughed inwardly, but the Lord heard it. So why your wife laugh?
Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child which am old?
Read.
Is anything too hard for the Lord?
Is anything impossible for I'm God? What are you laughing at? Read.
At the time appointed will I return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
Come on.
Then Sarah denied.
She did what?
Denied.
The Lord said, yo, why did your wife laugh? Then Sarah turned around and say, I didn't laugh. She denied it. Said, I didn't laugh. Read.
Saying, I laugh not.
So what's she saying? Lord, you lying. I didn't laugh. You lying. Read. Come on.
For she was afraid.
That's the reason why she said that, because she didn't want to get in trouble. She was afraid. So what did Sarah do? Lied. Sarah lied. Sarah lied. Yes, Sarah lied. But why did she lie? She lied because she was afraid. She didn't want to get in trouble. She said, I ain't laugh. That's not what you heard, Lord. I ain't laugh, man. I don't know what you're talking about. You must be mistaken. Read.
Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, nay.
No, Sarah.
But thou didst laugh.
You did laugh, Sarah. Stop lying. Stop lying, Sarah. You laughed. I heard you. So Sarah lied. Does that make her a wicked woman? No, it don't. Doesn't the Bible say that the sisters got to pattern themselves after Sarah, to be daughters of Sarah? Right? So my point is, all the righteous sisters going to have flaws. They're going to have certain negative things in their character that you got to fix. You got to be, because what do you think happened after that? You know, Abraham went in there like, yo, don't you ever do that. Yo, listen, you deal with a lying spirit, you better fix that. You better go to the Lord and repent. You got to fix that spirit right there. Abraham, check that. Okay, well, that's what they got to be cultivated. They got to be built the right way. They got to be guided. They got to be shaped. They got to be molded. That's what got to take place. But in order for that to be successful, they got to have a God-fearing mind. They gotta love the Lord. They got to have that right mind to want to do what's right and acknowledge when they do something wrong. You don't want a woman that lacks accountability. You don't want that. So from there, give me Genesis 25, 29, and 17. Let's get another example. Let's speed it up. Speed up. Genesis 29 and 17.
Book of Genesis, chapter 29 and verse 17.
Come on.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
So Jacob had two wives. Jacob two wives names were Leah and Rachel. And it says Leah was what?
Leah was tender-eyed.
It don't mean that Leah was ugly. Okay? Don't violate. Leah wasn't ugly. Okay? Was like average.
That's right.
No, she wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Don't violate, yo. Nah, average is like a 7. Like 7 is not average. It's above average. So average is 5. Okay, the Leah was like a 7. Come on. Come on.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
But it says Rachel. It says what?
Rachel.
Hey. Who wrote Genesis? Moses wrote Genesis. How we know that? Because we ain't going to get it, but the Lord took Moses and he showed him what happened before, from the beginning all the way up to the them going into Exodus, the Egypt, right? And God showed Moses what took place with Jacob and his two wives in the beginning. And Moses is describing them. That's what's going on. So Moses said, okay, Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. What'd that mean? Read it again. Remember we said we was going to come back to that word favored earlier. Read it again.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
So Rachel was like she was above. She was on another level. Body-wise, beauty-wise, she was a dime piece. Dime piece. Benjamin woman. You see that?
Message.
Read it again.
But Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob
No,
loved.
no, we ain't done. Yo, you know how it is. Read it again.
Leah was tender-eyed.
So she was looking, she was a 7. She was regular. Read.
But Rachel
Was what?
was
So it
beautiful.
says she was beautiful, meaning what? She's very pretty, she's gorgeous. 10 out of 10. Read.
And well-favored.
And Moses said she is well-favored. What y'all think that mean? She had bow. That's what she had. That's what she had. That's what she had. She had it. She was well-favored. Okay, so she had the big. I'm trying to be PG-13. Y'all help me out. Come on, y'all see me struggling. She got the Coca-Cola body. She had the figure 8. She had all the curves and all of that. That's what was going on with Rachel. That's why Moses specifically stipulated that she was well-favored. He didn't say she was favored. She was beautiful and she was favored. He said well. Pay attention to the wording. So that Rachel was on another level. Physically, she was gorgeous, right? She was bad. She was a dime piece. Okay? But keep read it again and then read the next verse.
Verse 17. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
So I'm gonna give background to the history is Jacob was supposed to work 7 years for Rachel, and Laban tricked him. After 7 years, he gave him Leah instead. And he didn't see that it was Leah because it was dark. So he tricked him. Then in the morning, like, what the hell? You tricked me. You ain't Rachel. Gotcha. Leah looked at him like, gotcha. So Laban said, It ain't right for the younger one to marry and the older one is married. Like, it's not customary. Like, all type of things with that dude. That dude was like he was a shiesty dude, man. Laban, he wasn't right. So read verse 18.
Verse 18. And Jacob loved Rachel.
No, you got to read it right. With context, brother.
And Jacob loved Rachel.
Yeah, that's it. He's like, yo, damn. You know, he was there. He was there herding the sheep and all of that. And there go Rachel go by. He stop everything he doing and just like. No, he said he worked another 7 years. Brothers, it's hard to do 3 years. He did 14. That's some commitment right there. That's some commitment right there. Read.
And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years.
No, I'm gonna serve you another 7 years for your daughter Rachel. Read.
For Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man.
Yeah, this dude. You hear him? Yeah. It's better for me to give her to you than another man. You know what I mean? Just stay here and work for me and be my cash cow and let me cash out on. Because when Jacob came, the Lord blessed Jacob so that in return, Laban benefited from it. And he got increased. He got a lot of money off of Jacob. So he wanted Jacob to stay there another 7 years so he can profit off of it. That's what really was going on. So from there, give me Genesis 30 and 14.
The book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field.
Mandrakes is that root that promotes fertility in women. Come on.
And brought them unto his mother Leah.
Wait, that's what it is? Nah, it's something else with mandrakes. No, it make you stand up. Yeah, it make you do that too for the men. Right, read.
And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes.
Rachel like, yo, give me your son mandrakes, yo. Read.
And she said unto her, is it a small matter?
So Leah was already like, yo, man, because Jacob always stayed with Rachel. So Leah was mad because Jacob married Leah first, you know, but Jacob ain't spend no time with Leah really. So Leah like, what Leah said?
Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes?
So
also?
You take my husband, now you want to take my son mandrake too? What else you want? You want everything. Read.
And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight.
Therefore I'm going to give you Jacob tonight. If you give me your son mandrakes, I'm going to give you Jacob tonight. Because why? Why did she say that? Because Jacob was always with Rachel. Because she was what? She was well favored. That's why she was loved by Jacob. Come on.
Therefore, he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out.
All right, so that's it. So they were bargaining for Jacob and all of that. Like, you know, he was having the time of his life, yo. For real. All right, where we at?
That was verse 15.
Okay. Give me Genesis 30 and 1. So Rachel was trying to get pregnant because Rachel's womb was barren. And you know why? Are we going to read why she was barren? She was beautiful and well-favored and all of that. But, read.
Book of Genesis, chapter 30 and verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister.
Damn, so stop right there. So she's beautiful and well-favored. 10 out of 10, absolutely gorgeous. But when it comes to the spirit, the mind, where was she at? Red flag number 1. She dealt with envy. That spirit of envy. She dealt with that spirit of envy. What else did she deal with? Come on.
Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die.
You understand what you just said? She said, if you don't give me no children, I'm going to kill myself. What does Rachel say? What does that mean? What does that even mean? This is manipulation. This is called emotional abuse. That's what this is. That's what this is. Why is she saying that? Remember, Moses wrote that she was beautiful and well-favored. She was Jacob's favorite. Jacob loved her. And she knew that. Rachel was self-absorbed. Rachel was so much into herself that she feel everything revolve around her. I got my man with me all the time. Yo, give me your son mandrakes. Yo, you don't even deserve that. Give me that. I'm the one that's most important. Everything revolves around me. You see Jacob was with me all the time. That's because I'm better than you. Look how good I look. She was into herself. She was into her good looks. She was all wrapped up with herself. So she said to Jacob, I'm going to kill myself if you don't give me any children. Because she knew Jacob loved her. So what was she doing? She was manipulating. She was trying to manipulate Jacob. She was trying to manipulate our forefather Jacob with her beauty, with her good looks. And these women that have these, that's well-favored and it's all beautiful and all of that, they come with this type of complex. Pretty problems. They come with mental hang-ups. That beauty gets to their head. Anytime they go inside the mirror, they see, like, damn, I look good. Like, men should drop to the floor and worship me. That's how they think. Don't go chasing after a woman like that because that's high maintenance. They will stress you the hell out. The Bible says that beauty is vain, but the mind that served the Lord, I'm chopping it up, but the righteous woman, that mind, that's what's the most important. That's more valued than beauty.
That's right.
That's what's more valued. So, where we at? Okay, we at verse 2. Okay, read verse 2.
Verse 2. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb?
So Jacob checked her. Jacob corrected her. Okay? And the point I'm showing is that our foremothers, they had issues. They had issues. And it was up to the men to see the issues and deal with them, correct them, guide them in the right way, check them. There's no such thing as a perfect woman. You got to build her. You got to mold her into what you want. That's how this go. Okay, so give me that article.
What is emotional abuse? I don't want you going out with them.
No, scroll down to the second paragraph. My bad, that's my fault. Scroll down, scroll right there. Yep, third paragraph I meant.
What is emotional abuse? Emotional abuse includes non-physical behaviors that are meant to control.
That's what Rachel was trying to do. She was trying to control Jacob through her beauty, through her good looks. Read.
Isolate or frighten you.
She tried to frighten him by saying that I'm going to kill myself. Read.
This may present in romantic relationships as threats.
It's a threat. That's what it is. It's manipulation. Read.
Insults, constant monitoring, excessive jealousy.
Damn.
Manipulation.
Because Rachel was jealous of Leah because Leah kept popping out kids and she wasn't having kids. Read.
Excessive jealousy. Manipulation.
That's exactly what she was trying to do. Manipulation. Read.
Humiliation. Intimidation. And dismissiveness, among others.
All right. So that's it. From there, give me Genesis chapter 3. I'll skip that. Give me Sirach chapter 7 and 26. Again.
Book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 26. Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not.
So you got to build that woman to have the same mind that you have. How you do that is through correction, guidance. You got to constantly mold that mind. You got to constantly shape that mind. That's how you're going to have a woman that her mind is after yours. Read.
Forsake her not.
And when you have built a woman like that, don't forsake that woman. Don't do evil by that woman. Do right by that woman. Come on.
But give not thyself over to a light woman.
Yourself over to a bumbling idiot. A lot of these bumbling idiots, they have big booties, pretty faces and all that. Fake faces, really. It's what it is. But brothers be attracted to that, men, but you can't pay attention to that. They got a pretty body and all that, but their minds is all messed up. I'm going to say retarded, man. Yeah. You spiritually retarded. Come on.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman.
Right. Give not thyself over to a light woman. I had another story I was supposed to tell. I may tell it later. I don't know. Where we at? 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. This is the mindset you have to have going into a proving process. You cannot be absent-minded. You cannot just be there biding time to get the box. You cannot do that. You must understand the importance behind proving, testing, molding, guiding that woman, building her mind to think the way you do, and that's how you're going to have the proper support. You're going to have, you're essentially building a soldier. That's what you're doing. You're building a soldier. So you got to build the mind the right way so that she's staying with you in the ups and the downs. If you don't do that, if you neglect to do that, then she of course is going to fail. She's not going to last. Read.
Book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 3.
Come on.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
Come on.
For the weapons of our warfare are not
The
carnal.
weapons of our warfare is not carnal. It's a spiritual warfare that we fight. And there's a lot of spirits that we got to fight. Every bad attribute, every character is a spirit. It's spirits. Read.
But mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
So the weapons of our warfare is the word of God. And what you're supposed to be doing is administering correction through the word of God, through the commandments, through the laws. Read. Come on.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing.
What's an imagination? Imagination is like, I think, you're not 50-50. Why I got to submit to you? Why I got to call you Lord? Why I don't want to do none of that. Why I got to do this? Why I got to listen to you? Why I can't interrupt you when you're talking? Why I got to take correction from you? Why do I got to change? Why do I got to evolve? All of these things are what?
Casting down imaginations.
Imaginations. How you cast down imaginations is through that correction. When you administer the correction, you're going to see what type of person you're dealing with. Come on.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge
Because
of God.
our sisters today have been taught to think contrary to the laws of God. Our sisters are taught today that they are equal or above the man. Our sisters today are taught that they're worth more than the man, that they're smarter than the man, that they can get a better job than the man, and they have a higher social status than the man. All of these things are imaginations that exalt themselves against the knowledge of God, because the order of God is God, Christ, man, and woman. America says Satan, white Jesus, black woman, black the child, then the black man on the bottom. That's an imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Come on.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
All these thoughts, the mindset with our sisters today, it got to be cast down. All of them got it in some way, shape, or form because they've been exposed to this world. So how can you go through a proven process and not fix those issues? That don't make no sense. You got to deal with them things because somewhere along the line, there's going to be drawback. You're going to start bumping heads. Well, we never addressed this, so I was never prepared for this, and all type of different fighting and stuff like that going on because you never built the proper platform. You never cultivated the mind the right way. Read.
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Really, when you correct that woman and you teaching her the laws, you're bringing her mind in subjection to Christ. Now she's going to deal with you according to how Christ commanded her to deal with you. Christ said, wives, submit to your husbands in all things. She's going to obey and honor that. That's when you cast down those imaginations. That's when you've corrected that. That's when you address those things. You don't ignore it. You don't buy time and allow time to just go by, and you don't fix no type of issues, but you deal with her sexually. And even that says a lot. If you skip her shortcomings just to deal with her sexually, they file that. They file it. They look at it like, okay, all right, so you put my vagina before the standards of God. That's what you're doing. If you go through a process, it's not proven process, but if you buy time and then you just jump from that to dealing with her sexually without building her the right way, without no type of correction, no type of test, you are communicating through your actions that you value her vagina more than you value God's laws. That's what you're communicating through act, and she sees that. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. So when you can show restraint, self-control, discipline, even though you burning in, like, everybody know that's on your mind, like, that's what's going on. Everybody want that. But if you can control that to deal with the issues that's there, and then after if it's a success, like, okay, all right, you took the correction and you humbled down, now we can proceed to the next steps. Then you can move on to that. That will always be honorable in her mind. That never leave. Right. And let me tell you something about sisters, women. When you dealing with them, you proving them, and they all into you and all of that stuff. They desire is unto you. What they want to do to show that what they feel, like how much they love you and all of that, they're going to want to give you their most prized possession. And your job as the man is to resist that. That's why we have about situations where brother and sister is proven, and after a while they messed up. Why? Because that sister, her desire is unto the brother, and she wants to show how much she loves him, and the only way to do that is to give him her most prized possession. This is me physically displaying that I love you. That's what they do. That's what it is. So our job as men is to refrain from that. They're gonna test, they're gonna try that, but you gotta control yourself. You can't give in to that. And when you show that resilience, that discipline, that self-control, that speaks volume. And that always sticks with them. That would always be a sense of honor and dignity and integrity that you've built. That's that you building that bond between you and her, like it's on a different level, because you show that you stand for God, and even though you have your natural desires, you're able to control it to do what God commanded you to do. So it's important not to skip them steps. Them things speak volumes, and you can't overlook it. You may look at it as a light thing, but it goes a long way psychologically. That will make a woman's mind even more crazier for you if you can do that. Damn, I try to throw myself at him and he controlled himself. Like, you understand? That's like, what? Like, that's crazy. How are you able to do that? That comes across different to them, and we got to understand that, brothers. We got to understand that. I know we burn and we go through, but we got to control that. We got to control it. It's a fight, but we got to control it. Where we at? 2 Corinthians 10. All right, give me Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Scripture said, have a wife after thy mind, forsake her not. When a woman's mind is after your mind, here's what happens. Read Genesis 3:16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Mm-hmm. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, mm-hmm. and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Their desire is unto you. When their desires unto you, all they want to do is talk to you, on the phone with you all day, and you as the man, you got to be that disciplinary factor. You can't be on the phone with them all day. Don't you have a life? Don't you have other things going on? You can't be on the phone with them all day talking. What you talking about? There's only almost so much things you could talk about until you lead to messing up and doing the wrong thing. You got to get time, space, distance. Okay, when I talk to you, I'm going to be building you. We ain't going to be on the phone talking no lovey-dovey stuff and all that because it leads to the wrong things. You're going to be building, molding. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what you're going to be doing with the time you spend with that person on the phone. And even with that, there must be time restraints. You can't be on the phone with this person late hours in the night. After the sun go down, your Johnson start getting hard. It starts standing up. When the sun go down, your Johnson rise, and you can't be on the phone. Naturally, you're gonna want to start your voice. You go lower, like sister. So what you wearing? What color panties you got on right now, sis? Like that, your conversation change, bruh. And you got to be able to recognize this. You got to recognize that in yourself. Anybody could fall to that. Nobody is stronger than that. None. Nobody. So you have to create preventative measures to make sure that you don't get caught up in that. Where we at? Genesis 3:16, read it again. And thy desire?
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Thy desire shall be to thy... You got some sisters that they want the reverse. And the man's decision got to be unto her. I got another story. So, there's this brother in the school, and he's talking to the sister from another state. And he been talking to her for 2 years or so, talking, whatever. So on the second year going into the third year, 2 years and some change. I asked him, so what's going on? And he said he talking to the sister, whatever, So through conversation, he showed that he was implementing certain things in the proving process. So from my experience through what I went through, I started talking to him like, yo, you got to look for this, pay attention to that, you got to pay attention to this. So the brother started implementing these things. So the sister, some woman mind is different. The sister says to him, after 2 years now, this is after 2 years, the sister says to him, who you counseling with? She asked him that. After about a week or so, she asked, who you getting advice from? Because what she was doing was she was cultivating and creating her platform. She was molding him. And she was having his desire be unto her. That's what was going on. So when talking to the brother, then he's like, oh damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Then he started doing it. And then she had an issue with it. She like, yo, who you getting advice from? Then she decide, this is a man's spirit. Then she decide, okay, I'm going to test this dude. I want to see where his mind is at. Instead of him testing her, she tests him. The roles are completely reversed. So she like, okay, she cut him off. Like, I'm supposed to do that to you. You don't do that to me. She cut him off. And then a whole week go by, he trying to contact her, whatever. She disrespected, she violated and all of that. She was trying to contact her through her regular, phone number. She wasn't picking up. After a week, she unblocked him. Then she said, and when he got back in contact with her, she said, I did that because I was trying you. I was testing you. And the reason why is because I wanted to see how much you love me. Because, yeah, I blocked the number, but you could have hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or one of those other platforms to show. She wanted to see where his mind was at. You understand? She wanted to see how far her grips were in his mind. And all of this was calculated. She sat back and she was strategizing like a whole man. She probably got a whole beard and mustache and all of that. And he said, yo, for that, I'm cutting you off and all that. You know what happened? she took it like a G. She ain't shed no tears. She like, all right, whatever. I'm going on to the next. Like, whatever. Like, anytime, if you dealing with a woman, proving her whatever, and she roll like that and she never cry, that mean she's a man in a woman's body. That's what that means. She is a transvestite. Transvestite is what that means. You not to shed it, because women are emotional, and if they got a connection with you, and if you sever it, it's going to hurt. But to her, she took it like a G. She took it like a G. And the reason why she's like that is because as the mother is, so is the daughter. Where we at? Okay, Genesis 3:16, read that last part again.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right, so after the brother's like, yo, man, you let me dodge a bullet, this and that. But it's through what I learned. It's through my failure, my mess-ups, my mistakes that I was able to learn and know enough to let this brother know, bro, you going down the wrong path, and what you're doing is going to lead to your demise. So he course corrected, and he got see, look. She was a trick with a yeah, man. It's a crazy world we live in. Okay. Right. So, in order to when you creating a godly woman, in order to create a godly woman, her mind got to be, when I say broken, not in a negative way. The flaws, those mental, those spirits she deal with, you got to break them out of her. If she deal with lying, you got to break that lying out of her. She deal with envy, you got to break that out of her. She deal with that spirit of hatred, you got to break it. If she is, you know, sisters is very, some sisters is very, what you call that? They very not confrontational. It's something else. They argumentative. They like conflict. They like to argue. You got to break that out of her. You have to break that out of her. So, when you break that out of her, only then you can create a successful, you can create a mind that's going to be after yours. These spirits, they will disrupt what you're trying to create if you don't get rid of them. If you overlook them, they'll grow into bigger issues. They grow into bigger monsters. That's what's going to happen if you ignore it. They don't just disappear. You can't sweep it under the rug. You got to face it head on. And sometimes you got to deal with, I'm talking about, you got to correct them. And sometimes they don't see what you're talking about. And if they don't see what you're talking about, cut them off. Give them time to examine themselves. And if they could be like, you know what? He was right. Cut me off. He was right for doing that because I needed time to examine myself and see myself. And if she could come back and say, you know what? I see what you were correct for, and I acknowledge that I have that spirit in me, and I'm willing to work on it and become better. That's when you break them. That's what that means. If you ain't get a woman to that point, bro, what are you doing? You got to get them to that point. When you know you broke them is when they apologize for the sin that's in them. They must acknowledge it. And it ain't no, oh, I'm sorry. Nah. Some people will tell you that to get you to shut up. That's a pacifier. They must say, I'm sorry for this sin that's in me. I'm wrong for that. I got to fix it. I'm going to fix it. That's how they got to talk. That's true godly sorrow. That's when you know, okay, this woman is really trying to do right. So when they break, it ain't nothing abusive or nothing like that. That's actually helping them to get eternal life. That's why you need to do that. Read.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Right. So give me Sirach 42:12. The desire must be unto you, and also they must want you more than you want them. They supposed to chase you while you chase God. That's how that's supposed to work. That's how that's supposed to go. and you don't tell them, oh, you at first 6 months, you, hey, I love you and all that. Nah, don't do that. Read.
Book of Sirach, chapter 42 and verse 12. Behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women.
You got to be careful. You got to pay attention to the time you spend with these sisters. You got to be careful. Why? Reading.
For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness.
From women come wickedness. You will get caught up. You have to protect yourself. Even with the righteous ones, you got to protect yourself. Because once they desires unto you, they want to lock you down. They want to make sure, okay, this is the one. I want him. She already got her mind made up. I'm going to lock you in. That's their mindset. Your mindset is, nah, we ain't over. I still got to test you. I still got to prove you. We got to do things on the right, in the right manner. We got to do things decently and in order. So it's a battle. You know, everything is a battle. Everything is a fight. But that's how you got to think, brothers. Come on.
For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. Better.
They're going to get you caught up. They're going to get you caught up. You spend enough time around them. You allow them to take you out of your discipline and your self-restraint and your self-control. You will mess up. The best of us will mess up. It's just what it is. It's created in us to be susceptible to those things. So it's best for you to create a safety net, create protocols and things set in place, measures set in place so that you don't mess up. You do time restrictions. If you dealing with her, somebody else got to be there. You got to be chaperone. Ain't no being with you by yourself and all of that. Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So that's how we got to think, brothers. That's how we got to think. And all of these things, I'm mentioning it because it all attributes to creating that godly mind, that godly woman. You have to fulfill, you got to set that example. Once they see that example, they see that, oh, this dude is serious. I can't run certain things with this dude right here. I see that he's serious. I can't roll with him any certain way. And that's gonna be a image that she will reflect in return, because she see how devout you are to serving God and that you put God first. Her mind is gonna be like, oh, I gotta put God first too. This dude is an inspiration to me. He's setting the right example. This is a man of honor. This is a man of integrity. He had the opportunity to do certain things with me, and he doesn't do it. He fears God. That's gonna emit. It's gonna reflect. She's gonna reflect the same thing, the same mentality. Come on, where we at? What verse 13 say? Oh, okay. Give me Sirach 7 and 26 one more time. I keep going back there.
Book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 26.
Come on.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
So that sister you proving, you must make sure that her mind is after your mind. By the time you finish proving her, she has to be a better person. She has to be in the process of her mind becoming your mind, because that takes years. It's going to take years to fully become one, but you must begin that process from the moment you start talking to her. That's what the conversation got to be. It got to be molding and guiding, correction. There's a lot of grounds to cover. There's no time for butterflies and all that stuff. And bubble gum and you're going to get caught up. Read.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not.
Right. So here's an example of a wife after your mind. Damn, I thought they would have cued me in. These guys hate me, bro. I really do think. What y'all got against what I did to y'all, bro? What's up with y'all keep messing me up every week, man? Huh? I offended somebody over there? Turn it up. Put it on the screen. Turn it up. Come on.
So, ever since I was born, I've been trained to serve you.
Stop right there. Oh, gosh. I didn't even get no bond. We got a feminist over there in the corner. All the sound effects. Are you a feminist, brother? What the hell? Are you an advocate for Jezebel?
Bruh.
We have a Democrat over there. Read it. I'll play it again.
Ever
Play it
since I
again,
was
brother.
born-
No, from the beginning.
So,
Ever since I was born, I've been trained to serve you.
Stop right there. Stop right there. That's the same thing that will be implemented within the body. Our leaders is working on it. Something similar to a charm school. You sisters, you gonna be vetted. You ain't gonna just try to walk up to none of the sons of God and want to be all in their face and all that. It ain't gonna work like that. You gonna go through this process. You gonna learn to cook. You gonna learn to sew. You gonna learn your duties as a woman to fulfill. You gonna learn all of these things. You gonna learn cleanliness. You gonna learn to be tidy. You gonna learn how to carry yourself properly. You gonna learn how to dress. Because a lot of you walk around with socks and slippers like, what do you think this is? You got to carry yourself like a woman. Stop carrying yourself like little girls. A lot of you walk around, like, carry yourself like, you know what I mean? Like, no, come on. Change the way with bonnet. Like, I didn't see no bonnets. I can't say that. But even with that, you got to carry yourself a certain way. You can't, grown woman, you can't carry yourself like a kid. All these things you got to learn. You got to, thank you. You got to learn proper etiquette. And well, you know what? The demons ain't going to want to go through that process. Well, I got to learn this. Well, I got to learn how to wash my properly. You should just take me as I am.
Stop it.
Nobody don't want your funky behind, man. Get out of here, man. Play the video.
yes, I know this, but I would like to know about you. What do you like to do?
Here we go.
Whatever you like.
What kind of music do you like?
Whatever kind of music you like.
That's how your wife got to be, bro.
Look, I know what I like, and I know you know what I like because you were trained to know what I like.
So you
But I
see,
would like
you
to know
see,
what
you see you see the evil mindset, the craftiness behind what Hollywood is projecting in the minds of our people. He's letting out through the questioning of Eddie Murphy to his woman. Esau is letting our sisters know and our brothers know that it's okay for a woman to have her own mind. What do you like? Individualism. No longer is it two become one. No, it's two different parties. You do you and I do me. You like what you like and I like what I like. There's no longer partnership. It's a 50-50 now. It's a democracy now. This is what is being projected into the minds of our brothers and sisters. And it's so subtle. Nobody paid attention to that. Nobody saw that. Everybody saw the scene and looked at it and laughed, ha, 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 and thought it was funny. But the mental destruction that was conspired and that was pushing our people, nobody realized it. And it contributed to the weak state of mind that our people are in today. Our men are in. The dominant mindset that our sisters are in today, where they feel I can think for myself and I don't need a man. I don't need a head. I don't need a black man to be my head. All of these things right here contributed to that. It was years of craftiness and all this the evil stuff. You're going to pay for this. Play.
And I know you know what I like because you were trained to know what I like.
You're trying to
But
make
I would
it
like
funny.
to know what you like. For instance, do you have a favorite food?
Yes.
Good. What is your favorite food?
Whatever food you like.
Because naturally a woman's going to be into the man that her desire is unto. She's going to naturally be into the things that he's into. She's going to like the things that he likes. She's going to adjust her mindset is going to change to his mind. Read. Play.
Are you saying that no matter what I tell you to do, you will do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Anything I say, you do?
Yes, Your Highness.
Bark like a dog.
Now they're trying to make it, you see what they're doing now? They're trying to make it look like mockery now. They put in mockery to something that's godly. Bark like a dog and all that, and they're trying to make it, what's the word, man? They trying to make it look like, oh, you a slave. You are gonna you submitting and you being submissive to a man. That's abuse. That's belittling. That's degrading yourself. But that's not what it is. It's righteousness. It's the Bible says that a woman is supposed to obey her husband in all things.
That's right.
So this mentality is ingrained into the minds of our sisters. And you must spend time uprooting these things out of their minds. You got to spend time removing it, casting down these imaginations that's in their mind. Because the mindset that is 50-50 and equal to the man and want to argue with the man, that mindset, that spirit that they have, that's a mindset that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. Because God knowledge tells us that it's God, Christ, man, then woman. In this world, they tell you that the woman is equal to the man. That's knowledge that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. Imagination that exalts themselves above the knowledge of God. Play.
A big dog.
Woof, 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 woof.
Hop on one leg.
So they're making mockery of something that is supposed to be
Making noise like
righteous.
an orangutan.
Saying that if you are like this sister right here, you're a clown. If you
I
allow
see
a
the
man
two of you are getting along.
pause it, man. You allow a man to tell you anything, and you want to do anything the man tell you, you a clown. You a fool. Don't allow a man to do none of these things to you. Have your own mind. Be independent. Don't have to depend on a man. Do your own thing. Right, they would call a woman like this, the modern term, they would call it a pick-me. Pick-me meaning, oh, pick me. You're desperate for a man. Because you say, but some of them women is not right either, though. Some of them ain't right. Them women that be online. They in the closet feminists. They say things to get views. And they say things to get views from men, but they're not really like that. They say things to attract a certain demographic of men because they know that that's what men want to hear. That's the type of woman that men are looking for. But they're not really themselves like that. Because in order to become like that, guess what? The man got to create that. The man got to cultivate that. Come on.
Excuse me, Imani, for a moment.
Okay, so that was it on that. From there, give me Ezekiel 16:44. You got to examine the red flags. You got to pay attention to the negative attributes. You got to pay attention to everything. Ezekiel 16:44.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 6.
Can't ignore these factors. Come on.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 44. Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
So you got to examine the mother as well. You got to see how the mom is, because everybody is a product of their environment. And however the mother is, it will show in the daughter as well. That will reflect in the daughter. The way the mother deals with her husband, the way the mother has dealt with the men that's in her life is going to show, is going to reflect in her. So you want to see the things that she's learned, and whatever things is negative, whatever things is wrong, you got to address it. You got to fix it. You got to take mental note of all of these things. It's not just talk, just biding time, and then no, it's a whole process. It's a whole work that you got to do. And these things you can't ignore because they will become big issues. She will turn into a monster in front of your face because of issues that were not addressed, because he never broke her mind into submission, into her seeing herself for what she is. Keep going.
As is the mother, so is her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband, and her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loatheth their husbands and their children.
Read that verse 45 again.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband.
Because a lot of women today, they hate their husbands. And that hatred that they have towards their husbands, they project it onto the children. Well, your daddy ain't no good. And they disrespect them in front of them. They have arguments in front of them. And they witness these things. And then the children become product of these environments. And you need to know what type of person you're dealing with. You may be dealing with a toxic monster that's trying to keep all of that toxicity under wraps. You need to know what you're dealing with. That's why you need to create situations where they get mad, where they get upset, so you can see who they are when they get mad. That's why the scripture said if you would get a friend, you got to prove, meaning test them first. Read.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband and her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loatheth their husbands and their children.
Come on, Sirach chapter 13, verse 15. So you got to examine the mom. You got to examine the mom. The way the mom is, she will have some of those attributes as well. The way the mom is physically, that's the way the daughter will look. The mother is a projection of the future of the daughter. She young and she look one way, but she will eventually grow into how her mother looks as well. You got that? Come on.
The book of Sirach, chapter 13 and verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind.
You got to see, come on.
And a man will cleave to his like.
You got to see the people she hangs around. You're going to tell the type of person you're dealing with by the type of people she hang around. By the type of, who you keep company with, gossipers, murmurers, or people that's into doing the work, that's doing the business, that's ministering in his body, that's cleaning, that's cooking, that's folding the flyers. Who is she hanging around? You got to evaluate all of these things. You got to look for all of these things. Or you got to also look for, maybe she don't hang around nobody. Maybe she's an introvert. That means she got lack of communication skills. And not just that. If she's an introvert, that means she's selfish. She only care about herself. Because somebody that's an introvert, you're only concerned about your own self. The other people around you, you're not concerned about them, else you would be talking to them. Anybody that's an introvert, they deal with that spirit too, a selfish spirit. So you got to look for that. You got to look for that, because then you mess with a woman like that, she got that type of attribute, then she's gonna isolate herself from you too. She's gonna display those same introvert behaviors with you. So what you got to do is you got to correct that and see how they deal with it. Do they fix it? Do they make an attempt to get better and start to involve herself with the sisters, and know sisters, learn about the sisters in the body, learn about people in the body, deal with them. You know, does she smile when she deal with people? Is she nice and pleasant, or is she walking around like a nigger with a screw face? You got to look at all of these things. You can't overlook nothing. Come on.
All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Okay, give me 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. You got to evaluate who they hang around, and you also got to evaluate if they hang around nobody at all. Come on.
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2 and verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity.
So you want to examine if she has faith and charity, and what else?
And holiness.
With what?
With sobriety.
So she got to have faith, charity, and holiness with sobriety. So the faith, she got to believe. She got to show herself a believer. And how do you show yourself a believer? By your works. Somebody that believes is going to apply action to what they believe in. They're going to have works. And then it says charity. Charity is the love of God. You loving your God, and you also have love for your people. That's what charity is. Does she display these things? Come on. And read it again.
Notwithstanding,
if they continue
in faith and charity and holiness.
Holiness. She want to keep the commandments. She want to do what's right. Her mind is in the right place. Come on.
With
Is
sobriety.
she paying attention? Is she aware? Or is she in la la land? Where's her mind at? Is she vigilant? How does she deal with issues when issues come her way? Does she run from it or does she deal with it? How she deal with it if somebody try to if she get the test of murmuring or she hear people saying things against the leadership that's wrong? Does she report it? Where's her mind at with the scriptures? Does the commandments click in her mind? Are those gears clicking in her mind? Does she report these things? Does she keep it to herself and look at it like, oh, it's not a big deal, whatever? Where's her mind at? You got to look at all of these things. You got to look at all of them things. Read it again. Verse 15 again.
Verse 15. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing.
This is how she's going to get saved. This is how a married woman is going to get saved. And what?
In childbearing.
Childbearing meaning she being a good wife. She being a good wife and fulfilling what the Lord told, the same thing the Lord told Eve in Genesis 3:16. Your desire shall be to your husband. Once she do that and she what?
If they continue
so you got to
in
be
faith.
a good wife. And also you got to do what?
Continue in faith.
You got to be a good wife and you also got to continue in faith. You got to believe. And it's going to show through your works. Come on.
And charity.
Charity, you got to love your God and you got to love your people. Read.
And holiness.
You got to be holy. You got to be about the commandments. You got to be about this truth. Read.
With sobriety.
You have to have you have to be sober-minded. You have to have a sense of vigilance with you. You got to be able to identify what is sin, what is evil, and what's good. You have to. You have to have that. You have to be sober-minded. So she got to have these traits, or she got to be working on possessing these traits. And if she ain't trying to do that, then that's not the right one. And these things, these guidelines is set to protect you. To protect you. So if you go according to these guidelines to look for these character traits, this is how you program their minds. This is what you instill in them. This is how you create a godly wife. Give me James. We already talked about that. Give me Sirach chapter 26 and 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 7. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
So if you get hold of an evil woman, you latch yourself to an evil woman, you ignore all them signs, you ignore all them red flags, and you lock yourself into a relationship with a damn demon. You said it's like a what?
He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion.
She's a scorpion. And what do scorpions do? They sting your ass. And when they sting you, you die slowly, 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 slowly. The Bible is letting you know your success rate if you're in a relationship in this truth with an evil woman. You will not be successful. You will die slowly. Read.
He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. A drunken woman.
You see how I talk about being sober earlier? Right. Now it's saying what?
A drunken woman.
She ain't given to alcohol and she ain't be drinking all the time, and she every new moon and feast days that happen, she got to be the one that she doing something off. Right. She over there dancing all provocative. She over there bent over in the middle of the you know what I mean? Right. She ain't doing none of that because she got a mind towards the Lord. She has discretion. She know, okay, I can't, if I drink, I'm going to start behaving certain ways, so I'm going to control myself. I'm not going to allow myself to roll like that, you know? And those kind, I'm telling you, they reserved. They not going to even drink. They don't do that. They don't drink unless they with their husband. They not going. Certain women don't do that. Read.
A drunken woman and a gatter abroad.
A gatter abroad is you talking about people business. You all in everybody damn business. You busybody. All in people, all up in the Kool-Aid. All in everybody else's business, but not minding your damn own business. Read.
A drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger.
Who create great anger in who? The husband. Because you're going to hear these things like, damn, woman, man. Always getting caught up in some damn thing. Always. Because she's staining his name. She making him look bad. Because a woman that behave like that is a testament to his leadership. And when she displays behavior like that, it makes him look like SH. Read.
Causeth great anger, and she will not cover her
You see
own
that?
shame.
It's a shameful thing to behave like that, but you think she's gonna, you know what? I can't roll like this. I gotta control myself. She don't care. She don't care about making her man look bad. She don't care about herself looking bad. Read.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks.
So here's the thing now. Read it again.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
So you see how, remember the story I told earlier? Sister came in and first thing she did was she made eye contact with me, like dead in her eye, dead in her soul. She was like, I want you and I'm gonna get you. Like that's the type of look she gave. That's whoredom. For a woman to behave like that, that mean that she's been through some things in her life. Because naturally a woman is shamefaced and she won't just do that out of nowhere. She gotta have in order to get a whorish mind, she gotta be around the block. She got to be around the block. She got to be as a round-the-way type of chick that a bunch of dudes deal with, you know. She got some bodies she got bodies. Like, it's not a regular woman that do stuff like that. But it says what? Read it again.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks, the way her facial expression and all of that. She making eye contact with you and she flirting with you and she making like little gestures and winking at you and stuff like that. That's a whore. A woman that do that and she don't know you from nowhere, that's a whore. Read.
That's right.
A woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
You see it's a spiritual thing why I say eyelids, because it's a whorish thing even with these sisters that walk around with the blinkers. You know what I mean? Like they do this, and all you seen is just black and white. Like they just look crazy. And it's usually that whorish spirit. All of these women that's out there that push the whorish vibration and all, they all dress like that. The Bible makes no mistake when it describes how a whore looks, like her facial expressions. Read it again.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
You got to pay attention to sisters that got too much liberty. You got to examine their childhood. Was she given too much freedom to do what she wanted to do? Because if that's the case, she's going to have a hard time submitting. That's going to take some time to break that down, because she's not accustomed to having authority telling her, don't do this and don't do that, and controlling her movements as far as her decision making when it comes to right and wrong. She's not used to that, so she will buck up with that. You got to see if that's the type of person you're dealing with. Read it again.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
Overmuch freedom. Overmuch freedom. You got some type of parents that will be friends with their daughters and allow them to just have free reign and do what they want. So you got to examine all of that. How's the relationship with the mother and the daughter? Is it a friendship relationship, or was it disciplinary? Was it guiding and instruction based, or was it just friendship and nonsense? Because I'm gonna tell you another story. A brother's talking to the sister, and she has this type of upbringing. She got liberty when she was young. And he's talking to her, and his job is to break her in the sense of the spirits that she got on her. She got to deal right. She got to love the sisters. She got to deal right. Okay? And she showed certain attributes that he had to fix, and he didn't fix it. You know, and when you don't fix those things, it emboldens them. Now it's even that much harder for her to see herself. Yo, them things is dangerous. So if you got to be mentally and spiritually equipped with the Bible to correct the things that's in them, because you can create a monster by not checking the things that's inside of them. That's how important this is. It's not a game. It's very serious. And then you create a monster and turn around and say, oh, that's a wicked woman. Nah, that's your creation. You created that. Why? Because you didn't instill the correction, the guidance, the leadership that needed to be instilled. Where we at?
Verse 10.
Keep reading.
If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel
Jump
not.
to verse 14.
Verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
See that? A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. She's given to you. Read. And it's given to those brothers that fear God and that's keeping the commandments and doing the work. Read.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
You need a mind well instructed. From there, give me video 5. Wrap it up. Video 5. Highest degrees. That's not that. It's the other one. The other one. Yep, that's it. Let's run through it. There's the other attributes you got to look for. Come on.
So many black men in the comment section saying, oh, you have all these high demands, but what do you bring to the table? Good question. Studies have shown that black women are the highest paid and the most educated. I myself graduated with my associate's degree at 18 and graduated from college with my bachelor's at 20 with a degree in communication sciences with an emphasis in speech and language pathology. I live on my own, have my own car, make about $70,000 a year, and don't have any kids. So I'll never ask for what I can't offer. And as far as what I'm bringing to the table, I bring me, and you can't sit with it.
First off,
Damn. So
studies-
pause that. Get it off the screen. So you gotta pay attention if this is a career-driven woman. She's all about school and career. She's gonna have those attributes, that mindset. Read the scripture again. No, give me Ezekiel 16:30. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 30. Damn, I'm losing my voice.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 30.
Come on.
How weak is thine heart, saith the Lord God.
My bad. I want what's that? Jeremiah 31 and 22. That's what I want. Jeremiah 31 and 22.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
Come on.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
It was given careers and jobs, social. They are able to elevate on a social, what they call that totem pole. They are viewed socially as better than the black man because I'm able to get this job. I'm able to have this career. I mean, I'm at this social status. So I'm better than you. So women that's in that line, that field, that go to school and is just driven in that direction, that's their God. That's what they're all about. Then you're gonna have to break that down. They gotta fear God, and God gotta be first. That career and all that can't be first. You gotta break that out of them. And a lot of sisters is like that. You gotta know exactly who you're dealing with. Some sisters is career driven. Career in mind, that's what they put first. Some sisters love material things in this world. Some sisters very disrespectful. Some sisters, they got anger problems. Some sisters got abuse problem. They got many different mental hang-ups. My point is, the sisters that's righteous, they're going to have issues. They're going to come with some of this, the career stuff. They're going to come with some of the anger. All this other, you got to be able to use the Bible to break them down. Because the thing about it is, they're going to follow what this Bible says. Because Christ says what? My sheep hear my voice. So they're going to humble down to the voice of the Lord. But you got to be the one to instill this. You got to be the one to administer the laws, the commandments. correction, guidance, instruction. Where we at? Any video 4. Let's finish up. It's 1, man. We gotta finish up. Come on, play it. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
I think everybody is upset about in these streets. They do not like the word submission.
Curse word.
It is literally a curse word to these girls in the streets. So I want to ask you, why do you think submission is a curse word to this current culture? And just the thought of surrounding a traditional woman, a woman that's at home, submissive, all the things.
Yeah. I think culture has done submission a bad number, right? I think when women in culture hear submission, they think slave, they think you have no rights, they think you have no voice, you have no value, they think doormat, right?
Yeah.
Pause it. That's what they think. That's what sisters think. When they hear the word, they start cringing up and like, oh, that's slavery. That's you mistreating me. But why do they think that? Because you remember we saw that clip earlier, that movie. That's what instilled that mindset. They associated the negative things with submission. They associated slavery with submission, abuse with submission. But that's the improper way to think. That's not the godly way to think. And you got to break that out of them. You got to show them, yo, this is what this means. This is what submission is. You know, and that's the way you're going to get eternal life by. You got to be submissive. If you're not submissive, you're not getting eternal life. Every woman that's getting the kingdom, they got to have that attribute. They have to have that. You don't have that, you're not making no kingdom. You ain't getting no kingdom.
That's right.
Ephesians chapter 5 and 22. Let's hurry up.
Book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord.
So that sister must acknowledge that she must submit to her husband as unto the Lord, meaning as unto Christ. Read.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
Meaning the husband is the one that's going to be guidance. He's the leadership. He's that protector. He's that provider. He's the one that's going to be the disciplinarian. He's the one that's going to show that vision. He's the one that's going to be cultivating and molding her into what he wants. Read.
Even as Christ is the head of the church.
Come on.
And he is the
same
Savior.
way when we come into truth, Christ is the one that's molding us by bringing us through different trials. Fix this about yourself. Fix that about yourself. He allows us to go through things in order for us to see ourselves. It's the same thing Christ is doing with us. The same thing Christ do with us, we do to y'all. Read.
Even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body.
Same way Christ is our Savior, the black man is the black woman's Savior. He is the one that's going to train her to be godly so that she can get the kingdom. He is her Savior. Read.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands.
So it's a reflection. It's the same thing. Read.
In everything.
In what?
In everything.
So she has to have the mind to know that I got to submit to my man in everything. Read.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church.
You got to deal right with them. Read.
And gave himself for it.
Meaning he died for the church. So it's the same way as a protector, you got to die for them if that situation presents itself. Read.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it.
That the point is to do what?
Sanctify and cleanse it.
Our job as men is to sanctify y'all and cleanse you. Cleanse of what? Those evil thoughts, those sin, the imaginations that exalt themselves above the knowledge of God. All of that we got to go into your mind and cleanse you.
Read. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
We got to scour and shower your mind, your brain with God's commandments. And when we've effectively done that, we've created a wife, a godly wife. Read.
That he might present it to himself.
You see that? Our job after we've cleansed you with the word of God is to do what?
That he might present it to himself.
That we may present. Our job is to present you to the Lord. Lord, this is the woman you gave to me in this lifetime, and I work with her. I build her up. I molded her, and I taught her how to live according to righteousness. Read.
A glorious church.
Right, read.
Not having spot or wrinkle.
You don't have any faults in you. All them negative attributes you had in the beginning, you outgrew them. You see yourself and you evolved past those things. You became a better woman. Why? Because of the guidance of that righteous man that's in your life. Read.
Or any such thing.
Read it again. Not having what?
Not having spot.
You ain't disrespectful. You got a nasty, stinking, dirty, nasty attitude. Read.
Or wrinkle.
Right.
Or any such thing.
Right. Your mind is right. Your mind is after the Lord. Your mind is after your husband's mind in the Lord. Read.
But that it should be holy and without blemish.
Come on. That's sin. Read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
So this is an analogy that Paul is giving. It's the same thing. The same way Christ got to present us holy and without spot and wrinkle, without blemish, is the same thing that we got to do with y'all. Read.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
Come on.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh.
The same way you want to be built up in his truth and grow and attain the kingdom is the same thing you want for your wife. Read.
But nourisheth and cherisheth it.
That nourish and cherish it, that go into guidance. You being taught, you being corrected, you being told the things that you don't want to hear sometimes. You hearing the things that's going to hurt your feelings, but it's going to create righteous fruit in you afterwards. Read.
But nourisheth it. Nourisheth and cherisheth it.
Come on.
Even as the Lord, the church.
Come on.
For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
Come on.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church.
This is a great mystery. Read.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself.
When you show love, that's you. It's correction. That's guidance. That's you cleansing by the word. That's you presenting without spot and wrinkle. In order to do that, correction got to come forth. Guidance got to be you got to be guided. You got to be told about yourself. You got to go inside your mind and break you down so you can see yourself, so you can learn God's laws. Learn to love the Lord. Learn to love this truth. There's not abuse. Read.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
A godly woman is going to reverence her husband and say, you know what? This man is guiding me according to the laws. He wants the best for me. I'm going to listen to what this man say because he's doing exactly what the Bible says. Give me video 6. If you have completed your proven process, if you've done it correctly, this is an example of what your woman's mind is supposed to be like. And this is in the world, so we ain't talking about, it's just an example. Play it. Damn, come on, y'all.
Hey, where are you going?
Hold on, come here. Excuse me?
Where are you going?
I told you last Tuesday that I'm going out with Kerry for his birthday, right?
You just didn't tell me what day it was.
No, I told you I was going out with him tonight. So why you asking me where I'm going?
Yeah, let's go to the club.
Oh,
Sir, stop.
You just what?
Nothing.
When I tell you I'm doing something, that's what I'm doing. All right? Now you just stay right here and wait for Daddy to get back. Don't ask me no more questions, girl.
Pause it.
Fuck around and get in.
Pause it, man. What the hell, man? So you'll wait right here for Daddy to get back. Ain't nothing wrong if your wife call you Daddy, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's not illegal. It's not against God's laws.
Message.
Yeah, man. Play it.
Get in trouble.
Damn, that shit work.
Get your ass out of here, bro.
Can't, right? Because it's Instagram. Ah, man. He hit the other one like, yo, you could do that? You could talk like that? Play.
I'll be back. Don't have no panties on me.
No panties?
Oh.
Yeah. So, give me Psalms 45 and 10. Last scripture, Psalms 45 and 10. Let's close out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 45 and verse 10.
Come on.
Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear.
Come on.
forget also thine own people.
Come on.
And thy father's house.
Forget your father's house. Read.
So shall the king greatly desire.
What's wrong with you? You already know what time it is. Read it again.
So shall the king.
No, so shall the king. The king is your husband. Yes, the king is your husband. The king is your husband. He is your king. Okay, come on. He's your king. Read.
So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty.
Come on.
For he is thy Lord.
He is thy God. G-O-D. Yes, he is. He is thy God. That means what it says. Read.
For he is thy Lord. And worship.
Hey, what?
And worship.
And what?
And worship thou him.
Come on. Can I get a bomb? Read it.
So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him.
That means what it says. Worship thou him. And how do you worship the king, which is your husband? That's through reverence. You reverence in that man. You respect that man. You honor that man. You don't disrespect. You don't talk back. You don't do none of that. You listen to what that man tell you. You submitting to that man. That's how you worship that man. There's some other I wanted to say, but I can't say it. I can't say it, yo. You know what I'm saying? I can't say it. Read it again.
So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship.
That mean it. He is thy God. He is thy God. The same way we came from. No, I'm not going to say that. Okay? He is thy Lord. Worship thou him. He is thy Savior. He is thy God. The same way Christ is our God and he's coming to save us. There's the same thing. You sisters that want to do right and fear the Lord, that man that the Lord join you with in this truth, that's your Savior. That's your God. And your job is to worship thou him. So, put the thing on the screen. You know what I want? Subscribe to our YouTube page, IUIC New Jersey. Facebook, IUIC New Jersey. On Instagram, IUIC_Jersey. Twitter, IUIC New Jersey. And on TikTok, IUIC_New Jersey. I hope that y'all were able to glean at least something from this lesson. As always, the lessons that are being taught is for the edification of all of us. We all got to learn. We all got improvements that we got to make in this truth. We all got levels to get to in our pursuit after righteousness. So with that, brothers and sisters, we say shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs on the corners, but the profits is you've been making violence, killing brothers, switching riders, selling drugs upon the corners, but the profits is you better cause the profits hitting now. You better bring that out. Cause the profits hitting now. See hanging on the corner, see hanging on the streets. Some other on the phone, someday you never